all this story would begin. Instantly, that Goku was able to defeat Moro, the Devourer of Worlds. Since the power that Goku demonstrated was an incredible power, so much had been his power that he called the attention of everyone present, and even the god of destruction himself. Goku's power is rising in an incredible way. No one's ever been able to have his learning rate. That's right, Mr. Beerus. The power of Mr. Goku, it seems to break all the laws of power that we knew. Meanwhile, on planet Earth, the Prince of the Saiyans was also very thoughtful about all the great power that Kakarot possessed. I can't believe that being a low-class warrior is so much more powerful than me, the Prince of the Saiyans. All this was happening while Goku was training with Broly, and likewise helping him to control his legendary Super Saiyan state. Wow, Broly, you've improved so much this time. I think you currently have enough power to stand up to Mr. Beerus. I appreciate your help, Kakarot, but from now on I plan to train alone. Since I always been isolated, I want to be the one to master all this power on my own. I understand, Broly. I'll return to Earth to continue my training. I hope to have a great match with you soon. Goku would return to planet Earth using teleportation, but Goku had taken to the Holy Temple because Goku wanted to break his limitations as a Saiyan, since he was aware that much more powerful warriors were capable of appearing in the future. If I want to have better results, I have to train in the time room, so that the load is much greater. Flashback. The god of the earth had improved the room of time, so that the warriors who train in the place were even able to feel gravity increased in their bodies. End of flashback. Goku would enter the dimension in which his rigorous training would begin. Meanwhile, both deities of Universe 7 would meet in the Kingdom of the All because the great priest had sent them to call. Father, so long? Tell us, is something wrong? That's right, Whis. It's about the Saiyan Goku. What's the matter with Mr. Goku, Father? The power he possesses is not understandable. Why? Mr. Goku has to be the god of the destruction of Universe 13. Whis along with Beerus were very surprised because they didn't have the information that there was a Universe 13. That's right, all the extinct gods have returned, but for some reason the god of Universe 13 has not been resurrected, which is why we desire a warrior of great power. Goku a god? I can't believe it, but I don't think Goku would accept such a charge. If he refuses, we'll have to end his life, since there's no mortal who can surpass the power of the gods of destruction. Understood, Father. I will inform you as soon as possible. While both deities were on their way to planet Earth, both were discussing everything that had happened. Whis, I know you're too fond of Goku, but what'll happen if he refuses? We will have no alternative, Mr. Beerus, since the orders of the High Priest are final. Both deities continued on their way, but Goku's power continued to increase in a way never recorded before. Since the cells of Son Goku's body manipulated much faster, which was impossible, Goku was able to reach a state called Ultra Supreme Instinct, which allowed him to release much more power, without his body being affected by the energy load, without decreasing his reaction speed. The power I have achieved is incredible, but I have to be able to defeat a god with all this power. I want to have the power necessary to defend whatever I love. Goku, after spending 4 years in the time room, he would come out, while outside, it had been only 4 days. But it was surprised to observe all the warriors who looked very serious. Hey friends, what's going on? Is there a new enemy? Whis would explain everything to Goku, and Daishanken would approach the kingdom of the great Zeno-sama. It'll be better to go right now, since it's been 4 days since we've been here, and we shouldn't keep the great Zeno-sama waiting. Okay, but I don't want to be the new god of destruction. The three of them would leave to the kingdom of Zeno-sama, while Vegeta was very upset because it was not to him who was offered the post of god of destruction. The instant they arrived, Daishanken would receive them. Mr. Goku, it's a pleasure to have you in our palace. I guess, Whis, you've already explained everything we've talked about. That's right, Daishanken-sama. I appreciate your proposal, but I'll have to refuse, since it's not my interest. I hope you understand. Mr. Goku, we'll give you 5 days to think about it, calmly, because if you refuse, we'll have to finish with you. What? That Whis hasn't told me that. Why do you have to finish me off? We need a very powerful god, since the warriors of Universe 13 are warriors that not any god's able to penetrate. I could take care of those warriors, but I wouldn't like to be the god of that universe. As I told you some time ago, you'd better think about it. Whis would take Goku to the planet Earth again. Goku was very thoughtful when he arrived, as it was not to his liking to destroy planets. Oh, what can I do? I don't know what I should choose. Returning to the planet of Beerus, both deities, as in the old days, began to train because Beerus did not wish to stay behind the power of Goku, since the essence he released was very powerful. Mr. Beerus, I'm surprised that after hundreds of years, you've resumed your training. Is it due to some specific reason? You're my teacher, my guardian, so I shouldn't hide anything from you. I'm worried about the decision that Goku may make, because if he has been qualified to rule Universe 13, it means that his power has grown in a great way. In that respect, you are correct, Mr. Beerus, and I'm afraid to inform you that even you, using all your power, would no longer be able to stand up to Mr. Goku. Beerus was surprised by the statement of Whis. Are you sure about what you're telling me, Whis? That's right, Mr. Beerus. I was able to feel the limit of Mr. Goku's power. He's able to force me to use 35% of all my power, while with you it's only enough for me to use 27%. That Saiyan's amazing, but I'm also a supreme god, so there's nothing to lose. I plan to try even harder. And that's how the training of Whis and Beerus would begin. While Goku was in the mountains where he grew up, he was meditating. Everything had happened. I'm planning to talk to Zeno-sama. I am his best friend, and I know he'll understand me. Goku, without giving it much importance, would continue with his great training to master all the internal energy of his body, and likewise be able to use it as a catalyst. To get better, I need to use a partner. I'm gonna go to Mr. Beerus' planet. Goku would use teleportation, appearing in front of both deities, but Beerus, having the doubt which Whis had informed him, would quickly get in front of Goku. Goku, I want to have a match with you. I want to witness that you have improved so much since the first battle we had. That'd be excellent, since I also need a partner to keep improving. In Beerus' planet, it would feel like two great powers were colliding. While Goku would access the Super Saiyan Blue, Beerus would use 90% of all his power, but annoyed, he pounced against Goku. Activate the Ultra Instinct with that power, you won't be able to defeat me. But Beerus was surprised when he received such a strong blow that he was sent flying with a great damage to his stomach. What? How are you able to hit me? The Saiyan Blue is enough to beat you, Beerus. I'm not the same one you fought some years ago anymore. Both began to exchange hundreds of blows all over the planet of the God of Destruction. Despite being very resistant, he was beginning to have great damage all over the place. Beerus, for the second time, would fall to the ground, while Goku seemed to not be tired at all. Actually, you have a great power, but now I'll use all my power. I'm not gonna let you be able to defeat me, the most powerful god among the 12. Beerus would expel 100% of his power. After millions of years, Beerus on this occasion was able to grant a great blow to Goku, being set to fly to a planet, destroying it in its entirety. Before Goku's able to recover, Beerus would grant hundreds of blows, which Goku, on this occasion, despite seeing them, was not able to dodge them. Get this! Super Sphere of Destruction! Beerus would throw a large sphere of mass destruction, which was about to cause Goku to be knocked out of combat. But in a great light, Goku would be observed in the imperfect Ultra Instinct, destroying such an incredible attack. Beerus, your power is indeed amazing, but you don't possess the necessary power to cope with my imperfect Ultra Instinct. Beerus, at the moment of wanting to move, was impossible for him, since a surprising pressure would be released by the whole universe, making Beerus immobile, while Goku would prostrate himself in front of him. Now I'd like you to measure myself against Whis. I want to be able to see what distance that separates me from the power of a guardian angel. Beerus, annoyed at being underestimated in such a way, using all his battle spirit, he would manage to free himself from the pressure. But by directing his blow towards Goku, he was not able to hit it. But Goku, in a matter of 1 minute, was able to grant him more than 1,000 blows, dropping the God of Destruction very badly injured and out of combat. Whis, it's time. I want to face my teacher. Whis would accept Goku's proposal, but before he would heal all the wounds of Beerus. I hope this ready, Mr. Goku. When Goku knew that his opponent would be an angel, he would access the Ultra Supreme Instinct. The power that he released surprised Whis, since he had exceeded the expectations of his power. Goku, without warning, launched into the attack, being able to almost hit Whis. Both warriors began to fight at incredible speeds. Whis, while exchanging blows, was not able to assimilate the power that Goku possessed, since to be able to keep up with him, he had to use 39% of all his power. This is the most powerful transformation, but I'm still not able to completely master it, so I'll finish with a single attack. Goku would use his most powerful technique, the Dragon Punch, but for his impression, his punch would be stopped by a single hand of Whis. That's right, Whis was able to stop it, but was amazed since he used 51% of all his power to completely neutralize it. Goku would be out of combat. Whis, with his power, was still able to make Goku recover. Whis, I'm still very powerful under your power. I hope one day to be as powerful as you are. So the 5 days had passed quickly, in which the deities, along with Goku, would return to Zeno-sama's palace. Goku would ask to speak with Zeno-sama, for which the king of the whole would leave his palace. Goku would explain everything that happened, but for his impression, Zeno-sama would deny his request. Mr. Goku, this is your last chance. Accept to be the new god of Universe 13, or wish to die in this very place. I'll never accept such an atrocity. I prefer to die in this place, but I'm not a warrior who's easily defeated. Goku would use all his power in the Ultra Supreme Instinct, but for the High Priest, it was too easy to neutralize it, so Goku would return to his base state on the verge of death. Damn, I never thought this would be my end. I always gave my life for all these bastards. I know that compared to them, they are bastards, but I want to take revenge on everyone. Hatred is reflected in your eyes. It's a pity that you don't have the power to hurt us. Daishanken would execute a great technique which would completely pulverize Goku. But before Goku was completely destroyed, a much more powerful essence would be present with Goku. That's right, that presence was of a humanoid form. The most powerful warriors of this multiverse have turned their backs on you. I can grant you another opportunity so that you're able to take revenge on those bastards. You just have to accept. I accept. I don't care what it is. I'll finish with all those damned ones. With absolutely the whole divine world. Okay, I'll give you a second chance, but you'll have to do something for me. But very soon, you'll know what it's about. Goku would disappear from the whole place, looking like a dream. But instantly, Goku would feel his small body, realizing that he'd been reborn, but retaining all his memories and powers. I'll end the whole divine world. Prepare myself so even the king of all will be able to trash next to me. So Goku had been reborn, but in Universe 13, because in that universe there was no god to keep him in an order. You're Saiyan. You will have to overcome the power of all the gods and angels. I have granted you another opportunity, but when you are ready, you will have to do something for me. Of course, yes, it'll be. To make your training much more effective, accelerate your development until you become a teenager. That warrior, who had an extremely incredible power to be able to grant him another opportunity, being able to accelerate all the growth of Kakarot, providing him the same way his clothes, but Goku on this occasion would ask for the same outfit of Black Goku. As you wish. All of Goku's clothing would be replaced by a black outfit, which represented all the evil of his being. It's time to train. I plan to be the warrior who destroys the divine world. Meanwhile, on the planet Earth, Whis, along with Beerus, would report everything that happened to the Z warriors, leaving them a little surprised, but Vegeta inside is satisfied. Without the Kakarot insect, there's no warrior, which I will not be able to reach, so now I'll try much harder to finish with every garbage. So it was, like all the warriors, it was up to them to accept the decision of the great Zeno-sama. But everyone was satisfied, just like Vegeta, because they came to the conclusion that because of Goku, warriors always came wanting to destroy everything. Goku has been my best friend, but he's the best thing that could have happened to planet Earth. No, Bulma, it's the best thing that could have happened to all universes. On the planet of Beerus, the god was very thoughtful about what happened to the Saiyan, remembering the battles they had, being the first to make him know the defeat. What the hell happened to me? Why do I feel so guilty? That monkey was a threat. Mr. Beerus, you cannot control your emotions, and you cannot eliminate from your mind what is next in your heart. You better than anyone know that, thanks to Mr. Goku, Universe 7 survived. That's right, Whis. You're right, but I don't understand, because they ended Goku's life. I also don't understand it, Mr. Beerus, but there must be a very big reason. Because when a warrior rejects the position of God, only his memories are eliminated. Something very serious is happening with the top brass of the divine world. I agree with you, Mr. Beerus, but we don't have the authority to manage to do anything. Meanwhile, on planet Earth, Vegeta, with his new great training, was able to achieve a new power, comparable to that of an ordinary god, but it would not be worthy of the power of the most powerful god, that is Beerus. Vegeta would request the training of Whis, so Beerus would accept the Prince of the Saiyans train on his planet. Thank you very much, Mr. Beerus, as I want to be much more powerful. Beerus would not say anything about it, but he would leave to take a nap, while Vegeta would continue with his great training, but he was not the only one. Since Goku was also undergoing rigorous training, he was even facing beings whose powers were of another level, since Universe 13 was full of beings of great powers. The power I've gained's incredible, but it's still not enough to end the life of Daishanken and Zeno-sama's bastard. But in the Kingdom of the All, a very negative energy was being released, since in one of the dimensions of the palace, a crack, three-dimensional, was able to leak, being able to release an essence which corrupted every being that had contact with the energy. Great Zeno-sama, are you sure it was the right thing to eliminate Mr. Goku? That's right, Daishanken. He's my best friend, but he's a very annoying mortal and his power seems to have no limit, so it was the best. Meanwhile, with the gods of the universes that had returned to life, a very powerful goddess felt that something was not right. So she would begin to investigate everything that had happened, realizing that the most powerful god of the 18 universes had not been resurrected, but on her visit to Universe 13, she was able to have a slight confrontation with the Saiyan, who proved to not be at all weak. You are a very peculiar mortal. You have a comparable power to defeat the simple gods of destruction. But to face us, you still need. Simple gods? What are you guys? Are they not gods like them? Ha ha ha! Honey, you're so wrong. We're not to the same rank of those garbage. We are called the Heavenly Gods. Heavenly Gods? What's the reason for those names? The celestial gods are existences just as old as the kings of all Zeno-sama. But as geniuses exist in all ages, that useless little one, despite having the thought of a simple child, was able to totally overshadow us. So you guys have been training for millions of years, but Zeno-sama was able to overcome them. And for that matter, he was able to take the position of king at all. That's right, you're right. I don't know what relationship you have with that bastard, but I know that dwarf destroyed his 6 universes. Wouldn't you like to get revenge on that bastard? Of course I would love to. That wretch I end up with several beings of my race, but not content with that, I would destroy our universes. Let's unite. We don't have the required power yet, but we'll be able to do something against that miserable. Ha ha ha! Saiyan, you have great goals, but it's impossible for a Saiyan like you to face a king at all. Ha! I know I don't compare myself to your power, but unlike you, I haven't even been training for 100 years. I know I'll get revenge on that damn dwarf, whether with your help or not. A little surprised by Goku's statement, Nene decided to trust him, taking him to her planet. Am I doing the right thing? Or what would happen if a king died? All this would go through Nene's mind, which was very serious, but the moment he arrived at Nene's planet, which was in Universe 14, Nene would ask to observe all the power of Goku, since they had previously had that confrontation without using all his power. This time, do you want to have a little battle against me using all my power? Or do you want me to raise my power to the limit so I lose speed? I'll take the first option, since it's no use having great power if you don't have the speed required to do something against the beings of Zeno-sama's palace. Goku would begin to access the Ultra Supreme Instinct, but the power he was channeling was incredible. That's right, his energy veins would expand to twice those of an ordinary warrior. Usually, any god or even angel has 208 energy veins, which are responsible for increasing the power of the user. Some prodigies are capable of even having the ability to thicken their veins, so that the power carried is much lighter. But in the entire multiverse of Zeno-sama, only 2 beings had been able to access the Second Awakening, which he returned to grant 208 energy veins, possessing a total of 416 veins. His body was able to withstand a gigantic power without exploding nor losing speed. Nene would be surprised because the power that warrior was expelling was from another reality, since he was able to even his planet is destroyed in several parts. If he has the necessary power to destroy my planet, this Saiyan is on par with the power of us heavenly gods. But he is stupid. I repeat on several occasions that he only uses the power that his body supports. From a big explosion, it was possible to observe Goku, who physically had not changed, since the Ultra Instinct remained the same. But as he walked towards Nene, his body seemed to sink, hinting at the pressure and his weight were terrifying. Honey, you have an incredible power, but if even your body sinks into the earth, your speed must be lousy. Nene, as if it were on lightning bolt, was inches away from hitting Goku, but was shocked when Goku's very cold and serious look was able to stop her blow. Nene would quickly recoil, feeling an incredible pressure expand from the body of the Saiyan. Don't think that if you intend to hit me, I'll stay watching. I have hands to defend myself, but I don't want to hurt you. Nene, a little upset at being underestimated, she would throw herself against Goku, but to her surprise, Goku, despite having all that great power, was able to dodge each of the blows without any difficulty. Goku was able to connect a slight blow to Nene, but she had felt as if the planet had hit her stomach, being sent to fly to a nearby planet, creating a large crater. Oh, I'm sorry! I thought you'd be able to stop that blow! Nene would stand up, and in the same way begin to raise her power. That's right, the power of a celestial goddess. It was incredible, because all over the place, large colored clouds were created, while in the same way, lightning and thunderstorms were formed around the goddess. You are a powerful Saiyan, but you have been able to make me take you seriously, and with that alone, you have been able to earn my respect. Nene began to exchange blows with Goku. Meanwhile, on the planet of Beerus, Vegeta was able to achieve a new power. That's right, Vegeta, the Prince of the Saiyans, was able to master the destructive energy of a god of destruction, accessing the Ultra Ego, which would leave a little surprise to Whis. Mr. Vegeta has been able to master the power of destruction. Apparently not only Mr. Goku was special. But Whis was completely wrong, because if we compared the speed with which both raised their power, Vegeta was a simple child compared to Goku, much less which he was training with beings which even surpassed the power of the Guardian Angels. This power is incredible, Whis. Nothing, and no one will be able to defeat me. I'd like Yakra to be kept alive to defeat him myself. Mr. Vegeta, I'm afraid to inform you that, although your power has grown in an incredible way, it does not compare with the power of Mr. Goku. What do you mean, Whis? What do you mean I still don't compare myself to his power? What Whis wants to tell you was that with son Goku, despite using all my power, I was defeated. It even forced Whis to use 51% of all his power, while with you, I'd have to only use 85% of my power to be able to defeat you. Mr. Beerus is correct. He still wouldn't be able to defeat Mr. Goku in an even match. Furious, Vegeta, since Goku was always able to overcome it, he will decide to train much harder. Returning to Universe 14, Goku was able to compare himself with 70% of Nene's power, which left her surprised because if she raised her power much more, the other gods would be able to perceive her power. I give up. This is not the time to fight between the two, but you have great power. You are amazing. Goku would return to his base state, giving a smile. What's going on? What's so funny to you? Despite being a celestial goddess and having used 70% of all her power, you don't compare since I only used 43% of my power. Nene was very surprised since a warrior had not trained for millions of years like them had the necessary power to defeat her. That's amazing. We will have a chance against the cursed one of the Kingdom of Everything, because despite having that great power, you still have to learn to fight with your aura. What's my aura? What do you mean? Without warning, Nene was able to create a claw from her simple aura, which at the moment of heading towards Goku, was able to dodge it, but when making contact with the ground, a big explosion would be created, sending Goku flying for a few mountains. Ah, that hurt me! The true celestial gods, we will be able to fight with fist, while our auras likewise attack. In short, it'll be as if two individuals are fighting. Wow, that's interesting. I want to learn how to master my aura. Thus, the training of the Saiyan would begin, while, like Vegeta, both Saiyans were increasing their powers. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of the Whole, the divine essence of Daishanken was changing more and more, since its essence seemed that of the ancient demons. That's right, the essence of Daishanken was no longer the essence of a guardian angel. It was the essence of a destructive demon god.
What is happening to us? I feel like my mind wants to explode just like all my organs.
Both of Zeno-sama's guards at that instant would fall to the ground because Zeno-sama, involuntarily, was able to absorb the essence of each of them, obtaining much more power. That's right, the beings of the Kingdom of the Whole were out of control, while Goku would continue with his great training to destroy the entire divine world. Zeno-sama's power was turning into absolute evil, being so much that he was even able to access a new form, which was much more robust and his power was hundreds of times greater.
What the hell is wrong with my body? Well, why is this negative energy so satisfying, but at the same time so painful?
That's right, the body of Zeno-sama, despite being the body of a king at all, is still a body, but with only greater power, and all the bodies of the warriors have the same internal system. But a few are the lucky ones and equally known as gods, since they were able to possess twice as many energy points as the other bodies, while the common systems have 208 veins through which the energy flows. Very few of them have 416, which on this occasion belonged mostly to Universe 13, for which it was called the Stellar Universe, since his powers were levels that not even a king at all was sometimes able to cope with.
My lord, it seems we have been able to master the power of the demons of the ancient underworld.
Ha ha ha! Finally! We've finally been able to master their negative power!
But far away from the realm of the whole, even in other timelines, a black armored guy would raise his power a little.
Ha ha ha! Do you even think you have the body to withstand the power of otherworldly knights?
Brother, have you been able to control the damn king at all?
Not yet, brother, but it's a matter of time since the negative power is inside.
This'll be a lot more fun. After millions of years, we knights have the underworld. We'll make the divine world burn.
Returning with Goku, he would continue with his great training. With the intention of mastering his aura to fight with more advantage, Goku would fall to the ground exhausted.
This is exhausting! It's even more tiring than a physical workout!
That's right, since you must master your internal energy at least 70%, but you must also have a strong essence so that you are able to form your aura.
But I'm not going to give up. I have a clear goal and I know I'll be able to fulfill it.
Of course, if Goku, that means you're more fearsome. No matter how powerful your enemy is, you don't take yourself for granted, and it's the internal strength that makes you much more powerful.
Thank you for being my teacher. I swear I'll always protect you, Nene.
Returning to the realm of the whole, Zeno-sama would begin to expel his negativity through the 12 universes. But it was really the plan of Yasuma, the elder brother of the underworldly knights.
Finally, he began to spread all the negative power through all the universes. Even everything is polluted, there will be no one being able to face us.
All the negative power of Zeno-sama would spread quickly, but only Whis, the most powerful angel of the 12, would notice this. Sister Vados, we need divine protection, quickly. Let's go to the center of universes 6 and 7.
Of course, my brother. Whatever you say.
Both angels flew at their maximum speed towards the center of both universes, in which both with all their power tried to retain all the negative energy of the king of everything, being able to achieve it with a lot of effort. Since the Zeno-sama did not control all the demonic energy completely, it was not so powerful. Now we must meet with our respective gods. Likewise, inform the most powerful warriors of Universe 6, we will be the resistance.
Understood, brother. But what do you mean by resistance? What's going on?
It's not time to explain it. Just keep in mind that the most powerful beings of the Divine Kingdom have been corrupted by an energy much more powerful than themselves. Whis would arrive quickly with the God of Destruction, informing him of everything that happened.
Maybe that's why Zeno-sama and Daishanken-sama eliminated Goku without any mercy. They were really being manipulated.
It may be, my lord, but it's not time. We have to quickly go to planet Earth. Both deities left for the planet Earth at maximum speed, while Vegeta was training in the gravity capsule. Instantly, he'd be interrupted, getting a little angry, but Beerus, annoyed at a great speed, would hold him with the ground.
Damn, Vegeta, I'm here for you telling you something very serious. If you continue with that behavior, I swear I'll destroy you.
I'm sorry, Mr. Beerus. I've never seen Mr. Beerus like this before.
The latter would only think Whis would explain everything that happened to the Z Warriors, but in the sky a big crack would form. That's right, from which Jiren would get very badly injured on the verge of death.
Jiren, damn it! The second most powerful being in the universe has left in these pathetic conditions. What the hell's happening?
From the crack, Margarita would be observed together with the god Bellmount.
But Beerus, apparently you don't have the negative energy of the demon gods. That means you're against us, so I'll finish you right now.
Beerus, a little confident, would approach towards Bellmount. Mr. Beerus, don't get complacent. Remember, they possess negative energy, their minimum power manipulated. Beerus would be caught off guard, being sent flying with the blow, which would cause him unimaginable pain, making him fall to the ground and vomiting large amounts of blood.
Damn it! I'm not gonna let Beerus go down that easy. I'll join the fight.
Don't worry, Mr. Vegeta. The power of the god Bellmount has raised in a great way, but compared to the power of the Lord, Beerus is still a simple child.
What do you mean, Whis?
Instantly, an incredible destructive power would be released from Beerus' entire body. The power was so much that it would even make everyone present retreat except the deities.
Bellmount, you have never witnessed my ultimate power, so I hope you're prepared for the end of your existence.
Ha ha ha! You're a simple cat. You won't be able to do anything against me, Beerus. Both gods would begin to exchange millions of blows, which Vegeta was not able to see absolutely anything. Only a few flashes.
Beerus' power is gigantic, and even if he's nervous, it must be that it's something coming of an overwhelming level.
After a few minutes of battle, Beerus was able to leave Bellmount very injured on the ground, but his defeat was imminent, since he had lost his limbs and the power had decreased considerably. Crawling like a worm with Margarita since he needed help, but when he was about to touch Margarita, an attack would completely pulverize him. Don't touch me! You're not worthy to possess the power of a demon god. I'll take care of these damn worms myself. Sister, it's a pity that you have also fallen to the path of evil. I, as the most powerful angel, plan to defeat you and send you to the other world. Ha 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 ha! That's only if you're able to beat me. Of all the angels, you're the one who likes violence the least, so you won't be able to hurt your dear sister. The thought of Margarita completely vanished when Whis' fist was struck in her stomach. I'm sorry, sister. This'll hurt me more than you. Release of angelic power! The great white light mixed with the great attack would be able to completely disintegrate Margarita, who had no chance against the most powerful angel. Mr. Beerus, we must put up a big barrier so that we'll be able to prepare.
That's right, Whis. Do it immediately.
A great barrier was able to cover the entire Universe 7. Meanwhile, Goku and Nene both had been able to advance in a great way. In their training, even, Goku was able to access a new transformation, which was the Super Saiyan 4 Celestial, since all his fur was an opposing white color. Nene, all this has been thanks to you. I've not been able to control my aura, but I've got this new power. With that power, you're able to face us, the heavenly gods. I've never fought with you. Do you think if we have a confrontation? Ha ha ha! It's not a good idea since I don't want to leave you hurt. But at that moment, the look of Nene would change to a much more serious one. Just like the look of Goku, a being mutated, had been launched towards Nene, which was ready to disintegrate him. But Goku at lightning speed stood in front of Nene, and with a single blow was able to eliminate him, jumping blood all over the place. Nene was surprised since that fist had an incredibly strong being, so much to make a warrior explode, but it would start raining blood which would panic to the goddess Nene, while Goku was very confused. How strange! First time in the universe it rains blood? Nene, what's going on? This is impossible. We'll all be annihilated. The underworld bath has started, and it is said that it is a simple legend. Underworld bath? That's right. That's how he's known when the warriors of the underworld spill the blood of their victims and are reflected in the 18 universes. I understand nothing. Who are the warriors of the underworld?
The warriors of the underworld are the elite of everything existing. Their powers are compared to ours is like comparing the power of a mortal and the power of a king of all. Nene, don't worry. It doesn't matter if he's the king of all, or those so-called underworld warriors. I'll protect you.
What a romantic scene. It makes me sick. Nene's face would be full of worry because when that warrior arrived, everything around him would turn a dark color. That's right, it was the domain of Yasuma, domain of the underworld.
What's this pressure? It's amazing! I'm not even able to move easily.
You can't stand even in my dominance. You think you have enough power to be able to protect that pathetic goddess. Goku, furious by the way in which the warrior referred to Nene, would expel all his power, being completely in vain since compared to the power of that subject his power was nothing, but Goku without giving up would take his body to the limit.
You're such a pathetic mortal. You won't be able to do anything. I've come to destroy the entire Universe 14, including the god of this universe.
I won't let you end Nene's life. You'll have to end me first.
Yasuma, with a single attack, was able to knock Goku out of combat. Returning to his base state, the goddess Nene would also release all her power, but for Yasuma, it was not surprising. They would both have a great battle in which balls of energies, fists and kicks could be observed throughout the territory of Nene.
It's time for take you with me. You're not as powerful as the rumors said.
Yasuma, not caring that Nene's a woman, would grant her a strong blow to her face, making her fall to the ground very badly injured.
Damn, how's he able to leave me in this condition in one fell swoop?
Nene, being carried by that warrior, was able to throw a sphere of energy towards Goku. That energy was able to recover him completely, but he was able to even awaken his double veins of energy. That's right, when Goku was born for the second time, his internal system of duplication, being one of the most powerful beings in all existence, and with the help of Nene's power, his power would begin to rise in an incredible way, making all the 18 universes tremble, and before Yasuma leaves, a great barrier would be placed in all of Nene's Universe 14. While Goku's power continued to grow non-stop, his white fur that characterized him had been changed into purple fur, representing the power of destruction. Goku's power was felt even by the king of all. That's right, he was not able to recognize it because his power had grown in an unreal way.
That warrior's power is dangerous. We must do something before we're annihilated. He must be mutant from Universe 14.
The warriors of the eliminated universes were always cataloged for being monsters that seemed to have no limit in their power.
Goku's power continued to grow in an incredible way, to the point that a large purple beast would also form in his aura, leaving Nene surprised. Goku, of a great explosion, was able to even destroy the dominium of the king of the underworld.
It's time for you to face the mighty Goku, the purple Saiyan god!
Goku, of a great rumble, moved at the speed of being able to grant him the first effective blow that god, which annoying, would stand up, while his power rose in an incredible way.
I don't care what the hell you are. This hit I swear to pay you back multiplied by 100. You don't have the power of an underworld god.
Yasuma would be releasing an amazing power, which would even make the 18 universes rumble. But the goddess of Universe 15, Mikosha, would realize the brutal power that was being released in Universe 14.
This is a stranger. The power that is perceived does not belong to Nene or any other heavenly god.
Mikosha would not give it enough importance, but at the moment, the shock of one of his fists was able to create hundreds of wormholes all over the universes, which would worry Mikosha.
If the power overcomes the defense barrier of the Zeno-sama multiverse, we'll be all annihilated. As a matter, we'll all be compressed in such a way, leaving nothing of us.
Mikosha would begin to head towards Nene's territory, while both warriors were in a very even battle. However, Yasuma's power seemed to have an advantage against Goku's new power, but to everyone's surprise, Yasuma would spit out large amounts of blood while his power began to decrease.
What the hell? This is impossible. How are you able to cause me harm? I'm the one who's beating the shit out of you.
That's what I want you to feel, because every time you touch my body, you're being ejected with my destructive energy, and I've been able to destroy your entire internal system.
That's right, the energy that Goku possessed in his new transformation even surpassed that of any god. Subjecting said energy into the internal system of any warrior would be fatal. However, this would happen with any normal being, since Yasuma was the leader of the 4 horsemen of the underworld, so with a lot of difficulty he would stand up.
So, how do you like playing with traps? Let's see which of the two is dirtier to play with traps, since this can be two.
Goku, being confident, was not able to realize that on his back a great being of dark energy had formed. But Goku realized he was too late because that technique was incomprehensible to a mere mortal.
This is impossible. It was said that the technique, imminent death, was for beings from another multiverse.
Yasuma would turn his back on Goku, while death itself cruelly tore him apart.
No matter what power I possess, as long as I'm not able to master Zora, he won't be able to counter my technique. But you guys have given me some damn trouble.
Yasuma, with a small slap, would send Nene crashing to the base of the planet. Goku, watching as Nene was beaten and could not do anything, his anger increased to levels that even Yasuma would be amazed.
So the power of that Saiyan depends on you. This is interesting. What would happen if I ended your miserable life?
Yasuma, left perplexed and unable to move, realizing that Goku was able to master Zora completely, even Nene.
Goku is amazing. Me being a celestial goddess, it's 1500 years to me to be able to dominate my aura completely.
A big dragon would be able to destroy Yasuma's technique completely, while Goku would take a very serious look and everything around him would freeze due to domain expansion.
Domain expansion! Space abomination!
Everything around him was able to turn a dark color, similar to his purple fur, while Yasuma's body was not able to stand up. That's right, Goku's power had completely crushed him, making it impossible for him to stand up.
This cursed mortal has been able to master Zora in the middle of battle, which it was said to be impossible.
Nothing's impossible for me, but you are right. I almost died. My whole system received lethal attacks, so I'm not able to waste my time with you.
Goku, when approaching Yasuma, he would collapse completely because the injuries were really serious. Yasuma, with his little energy, would stand up, creating a gigantic explosion with his own body. Nene would stand in front of that big explosion to protect Goku, but it would be impossible for him. When Nene's barrier was destroyed, his last hope, he would prostrate himself in front of Nene. That's right, Mikoshin had been able to protect both of them from such an imminent explosion. On the other hand, we observe Yasuma in his castle, a little serious because of everything that happened.
That copy of me had 45% of all my power. That Saiyan really is a nuisance.
What happened, brother?
There's nothing to worry about. The negative power that had been able to corrupt all the destroying gods, only the heavenly gods are missing.
But brother, who has been able to defeat your spirit form? As far as I understand, that form possesses 45% of all your power, and no being should be able to achieve it.
Yeah, I know it's amazing, Sheeta, but really there is a guy who has incredible power, who was able to not only defeat me, he was able to finish me.
Are you serious, brother?
That's right. I decided to self-destruct so that they wouldn't be able to notice where I was going, since even a new celestial goddess would arrive at the place.
It will be better to have total control of all the beings of the Kingdom of Everything in order to send those damn pests.
You are correct, because the power of that pathetic Saiyan is something that even I'm not able to understand.
Yasuma would still be very thoughtful about the battle he had had, because it was not explained where he was able to expel much power. Meanwhile, in Universe 7, Whis had been able to finish with his sister, while Beerus was also very thoughtful.
Hey Whis, what do we do? Since if the gods have been much able to have that new power, beings of the kingdom of the whole must have been much greater power.
I agree with you, Mr. Beerus, but there is nothing we are capable of doing.
Of course there is. We just have to look for the perfect opportunity to be able to take the advantage of it.
But don't worry, all this starts I was first able to move the pieces of this difficult chess game.
What do you mean by Whis chess game? Explain yourself.
Mr. Beerus, even you were affected by a little negative energy. I could tell that when you thought about betraying Mr. Goku, so I knew that something was not right.
What are you trying to say, Whis? Do you plan Son Goku's betrayal?
In a nutshell, it could be like this, because I had a vision in which even having the power of Lord Goku, we would be defeated.
That means that if Kakarot's not in this universe, he'll not be annihilated, by which he is our only move.
Excellent, Mr. Vegeta, that's right. I had only knowledge of everything that was going to happen, but up to a certain point it was risky, but we must trust.
Whis, you're absolutely crazy. Do you think Son Goku will forgive us after wanting to end his life? That's something we won't know until we talk to Mr. Goku himself. In the realm of all, Zeno-sama was able to assimilate all the negative energy completely, unlike Daishanken, who did not allow himself to be completely manipulated, and of this Yasuma would realize in time. That damn priest, he has a great spirit of peace. I've already been able to control him by 80%, but the remaining 20% is costing me too much.
Don't worry, brother. It's only a matter of time, as a priest's mental power doesn't compare to our mental power, let alone yours.
You're right, Sheeta, but there's something I don't like about this whole situation. I don't know what it is yet, but it smells like blood to death. Returning to Universe 14, one could observe a Goku who was on the verge of death, but had not returned to his base state, which would leave Nene very confused.
He's on the verge of death. Why doesn't he return to his base state? So I wouldn't use the power to maintain that transformation. Most likely, your body is preparing for a new energy load, which makes it impossible for you to return to your base state. Nene and Makoshin would help Goku to take him to a room so that he's able to rest, while both goddesses would start talking about everything that happened, while having a mind to ask for help from Beerus. He even had the supreme god Ziko. I have an excellent relationship with Beerus, unlike Ziko, as she's too strong a temper and is capable of destroying me. That is a problem, but we need powerful warriors who are capable of doing something, to be prepared for the other horsemen of the apocalypse.
Sheeta, get ready yourself with Yeka. We'll be making a visit to the beings of the Kingdom of Everything.
As you order, brother. Yeka, come immediately.
Order of my masters. So what is it I can do for you? You, together with my brother, will go to the Kingdom of Everything. Of the good-for-nothing of Zeno-sama, I want you to make Daishanken this completely at her services, and in case of not achieving it, end his life.
Your wishes are orders for my great Yasuma-sama.
Both beings began to move at incredible speeds throughout space, and even breaking the Megaversal barrier, being able to enter the territory of Zeno-sama. Daishanken, despite being manipulated almost entirely, would realize that something wasn't right. But before reacting, he would be subdued by Yeka, who had a great armor and looked like a great warrior, being able to crush Daishanken's head against the ground. Daishanken, being the most powerful angel, would try resist before the great power of Yeka, but it would be useless for her. But Whis was able to observe everything that happened, because when going with Son Goku to that Kingdom of the All, he was able to leave several crystals to be aware of everything that happened in the Kingdom of the All. So they are the ones responsible for this whole multiverse being corrupted by negative energy.
No matter where you are, damn angel, we know you're watching us, so you better enjoy your last hours of freedom.
All the crystals would be destroyed in their entirety, which would leave Whis very serious and shocked. This is much more dangerous than I thought, because the power of these beings is incredible. Even my father with the negative power has not been able to do anything against them.
I didn't like your plan, Whis, at all, but we must trust the useless Goku. Mr. Beerus, we can train to be able to defend ourselves. You're right, Vegeta. I, as the most powerful god, I won't let them finish me. That's right. We'll go to the time room.
You guys go, as I'll be on the lookout for any abnormalities in Universes 6 and 7. Beerus, along with Vegeta, quickly left for the time room, in which, at that time of entering, said dimension began with their great training. Not wasting any seconds, since time was something that the warriors did not have at the moment. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of the Whole, Yasuke was inserting a lot of dark energy into Daishanken's body, which refused to be controlled by anyone else, realizing in the same way everything that had happened with Son Goku, being able to perceive a small amount of his power.
This should be impossible, but I'll try.
Daishanken, with a mental wave, was able to communicate with Goku, who was still out of combat.
Mr. Goku, I apologize first of all for everything that happened, but we have been manipulated by a being named Yasuma, who is the leader of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. I'll explode and send you all my power. Please, receive it.
Damn priest, you'll explode from so much negative energy that I'm injecting into your being, so accept or die.
I'd rather die than form from beings like you.
A great explosion would be created all over the Kingdom of the All, which was not able to do absolutely anything to the beings present. That cursed Daishanken, resolved to be so loyal to his principles that he preferred death.
We'd better get out of here, Zeno-sama. I want you to keep an eye out for any abnormalities in the 12 universes.
Of course, if you order, young Shida.
Both would return to Yasuma's castle, while in Universe 14, a great golden energy would approach at high speed. Both goddesses would be on guard, but the energy was so fast that it dodged them entering Goku's body.
What the hell has happened?
What was that energy? Goku was able to recover completely, observing in his mind how they had humiliated Daishanken, and even the sincere apology, Goku's power would skyrocket in his transformations, while simulating all the power of an angel.
I swear I'll kill every one of you horsemen of the apocalypse.
Goku was able to assimilate all the power of a priest in his body, ceasing to release all that power, which was even destroying Nene's Universe 14. Mikoshin would try to put him out of combat, but it was impossible for him because of, to his surprise, when trying to get closer to Goku, an extremely incredible pressure, he was able to make her eat dust. That's right, Mikoshin would use all his power and spirit to stand up, but it was impossible for him too. Damn it! How is it possible for a Saiyan to have all this power? And is it possible for a Saiyan to be able to bend me to a heavenly goddess? Goku, by not recognizing Mikoshin, he would not decrease his pressure, but by listening to Nene's sweet voice, he would understand that Mikoshin was an ally. Please, Goku, reduce your pressure. Mikoshin was the goddess who saved us after you became unconscious. Goku would disappear, his pressure completely allowing Mikoshin to move freely. But something surprising was that he had been able to break several of his bones, which with simple pressure. I'm sorry, I didn't know you were an ally. I'll heal your wounds. Goku would approach Mikoshin, transmitting a little of his power, making Mikoshin fully recover. But she was amazed because the power she had achieved seemed a greater power than she possessed. What is this? I feel like my power has been completely released. Don't say stupid things, Mikoshin. It has only helped to heal each of your wounds. I don't know what you've done, but I appreciate it. It's not time for thanks. Since Yasuma has ended Daishanken's life, they were the ones who controlled the entire divine world to betray me. Are you sure what Goku is saying? Since I saw you very sure of the fall of the divine world. Haven't you hit your head in your battle? No, Nene. I'm sure since I was able to observe Daishanken in my world, that he even apologized to me. The world he swore to destroy will be the world he will protect again. Such great words for a Saiyan who's too weak. That voice had echoed all over the sky, while out of a great cloud of darkness, Red Eyes could be seen. But if it's Ziko, the god of Universe 18 and the most powerful god of all of us. So long time without seeing them stupid goddesses. Even I still don't know how they got the position of heavenly goddesses. If they were good for absolutely nothing.
World, we are forbidden to have any confrontation with that warrior. Why is it? That bastard Ziko. He was the one responsible for ending our father's life. He was the first being to corner our father.
Flashback.
Ziko, instead of competing for who is the most powerful being in these territories, we can ally. I don't care about being the most powerful warrior. What interests me is to destroy every warrior who thinks he's the most powerful.
The battle of both subjects was the most destructive in the whole existence. Even their battle had lasted 15 days approximately. And this was an incredible time since both seemed to have unlimited energy.
You are really powerful, but I will use a power to which, no matter that, you are the chief of the horsemen of the apocalypse. I will finish you.
Ziko's power would increase dramatically without the need to use an enhancer technique, which left Yasuma's boss and father surprised, as he was humiliated for about 30 minutes.
I'll die in this battle, but you being a Saiyan, you'll lose the most desired thing you have.
If you mean a loved one, I have absolutely no one. And if I had a child, I'd still sacrifice her to have much more power.
I know that beings like you don't have anyone close. But what you love the most is your power, divine light.
Despite being the leader of the Riders and being a Dark Warrior, he was able to use several threads of golden light with which it was possible to neutralize all the power of Ziko, while the other Riders exterminated each of his energy veins.
Damn, I won't let them take away all my power.
Ziko would create an explosion with the remaining power, being able to break the technique. But his rival had kept his word to make the most precious, since Ziko's power had been stolen in a 60%.
Damn, old man. How dare you steal my power? You're an insect!
And flashback.
Ziko's power has increased by 10% in this life, but it would be impossible for her to recover her 100%, since after hundreds of years she has recovered practically nothing.
Ziko, despite having all his power, he was able to give a great beating to Goku, who felt that with each blow his life was taken away. Nene and Mikoshin not holding on as they beat Goku, both goddesses launched themselves against Ziko, but from hundreds of rays of energies, they were on the ground, spitting out large amounts of blood.
Those mothers, they won't be able to do anything against me.
Ziko, who was hitting Goku, would feel like his skin had hardened, looking like he was hitting a metal.
Damn, they can beat me, humiliate me, but I'll never allow you to do anything to my goddess. They're under my care.
Nene and Mikoshin blushed when they were under the protection of Goku, while his power grew much more since that transformation was most similar to a beast. Due to this, his power increased the more angry he got, as his body adapted to the conditions of the battle.
Your power's on another level.
Apparently a worthy rival has finally arrived. Goku, without saying a word, he would throw a big blow, which Ziko would also respond, but the blows of Ziko's hand would be completely pulverized. Ziko, without showing pain, would grant a kick to Goku's jaw, sending him back a few meters, while with his other hand he carried a large sphere of energy.
I've marked you with that blow, so no matter where you're heading, this attack will follow you until it destroys you.
I have no need to run away, because with my own hands, I intend to destroy him.
I want to see if you're able to do it. Spiral of Hell!
A great attack would be thrown against Goku, which, with the simple sound of its noises, cracked the dimension itself. Nene, along with Mikoshin, raised their power to the maximum, trying to neutralize all the distortions that called Ziko's power.
It's a powerful attack, but for me, the most powerful Saiyan of this time, there's no impossible.
Goku would stretch out his hands, starting to stop such an attack, but despite having a great resistance, the attack was able to destroy his hands completely. But Goku, of a great scream, was able to destroy him completely. Ziko would be speechless, since it had not taken him any time to destroy his most powerful attack.
I'm not planning to end you right now. I want you to beg for your pathetic life.
This will not be my last battle. I don't know how I'll do it, but I will access 100% of all my power.
Ziko would leave, but without realizing it, Ziko had been marked by the power of Goku. Goku would likewise disappear, appearing next to Ziko, receiving a great blow, which had sent him to a planet, destroying it, and making Ziko spit a lot of blood.
I do not intend to leave alive. A being who only has darkness and evil in his heart, you're nothing to the universes.
If you finish with me, you won't be able to finish with the horsemen of the apocalypse.
I don't need you, because if you could take down their leader, I know they are like us, and they could die anyway.
Goku, from a great attack, was able to reduce Ziko to simple atoms. That's right, Goku's power had been so great that he was able to end the life of the most powerful celestial god. Meanwhile, in Universe 7, Beerus along with Vegeta had achieved an incredible power. So much had been the power of both that the Room of Time no longer supported so much power.
The power we've achieved is incredible, but it's still not on par with the power of the Great Priest. We must trade now in this Staff of Whis because of the dimension of an angel, but it has much more capacity to withstand our powers.
Good idea, Vegeta. They both came back with Whis quickly, which was very serious.
What's going on?
The Great Priest has been eliminated with incredible ease. If even my father was annihilated in such a way, what can we do?
Whis, don't let that define the final result. Although it pains me to admit it, we still have Kakarot. He'll be able to defeat these dim.
That's right, Whis. We are one more defense for when Kakarot's ready. I don't know how they manage to keep their composure. Even me, being an angel, it's hard for me to order my ideas at the moment.
Hey, Whis, have you tried to communicate with Son Goku?
Of course not, Mr. Beerus. After we betrayed you, you will never want to hear from us. At that moment, the barrier that Whis had placed had been completely destroyed by one of Yasuma's followers, who had the appearance of a demon with several blue lines all over his skin.
So, you are the pathetic beings who are not polluted by the negative energy of the great Yasuma-sama. Now I will kill you, no longer serve us.
Whis would stand in front of everyone to feel how that demon released a great power, but everyone was amazed to observe how Whis had been sent to fly with a great blow. Beerus and Vegeta raised their power to the maximum like Piccolo and Gohan. All the warriors threw themselves against that demon, not being able to do absolutely anything.
Final Flash!
Vegeta's powerful attack was directed towards that demon, with which a smile was able to return it with a single blow.
You guys are just trash on my side. I don't know why the great Yasuma is interested in such pathetic beings as you.
You are a demon, the opposite of what I am, so I'm not going to let you end up with the planet Earth. We will destroy you. Everyone began to exchange millions of blows, but the difference in powers was clear. Goku was able to feel the power of Gohan. My son and my other friends are fighting against a being that exudes incredible negative energy. What are you planning to do, Goku? What I would really do, if they really had intentions of dealing with me, I'll understand them, but I'll not let anything or anyone end what I once protected. Goku would begin to move through all the universes at an incredible speed, while the demon would prostrate himself on top of everything, carrying a great attack.
Die! This is your end, damn worms! Damn Kakarot, I'm sorry for everything. I wish you were here. You are, and will continue to be number one.
But that powerful attack never collided with the warriors. While in front of them, they observed a completely different Goku, who released an amazing power. I've arrived, since all the universes are protected by me. Goku would expel his power a little to make the demon fall to his knees to the ground without being able to move. Goku had been able to stop the abysmal power that was directed towards all the friends, but he would leave everyone present very surprised by the new appearance he possessed. That's right, even for the gods, they were the first time they appreciated that transformation, which even made him appreciate his beast state. Apparently I've arrived just in time. I'm sorry, I don't know if you guys wanted to pull me, but I know that even I've been manipulated.
I really don't know what happened to us, Kakarot, but a very powerful entity was able to make us betray you. I ask for an apology, Kakarot.
Mr. Goku, me having the ability to see into the future was the only alternative I found, since I knew that you were going to meet the god Nene and Mikoshin. The demon, a little annoyed because his punch had been stopped with extreme ease, he had launched himself against Goku. However, Goku, with the simple pressure of all his power, was able to smash him to the ground. You better stay still if you want to live for a few more minutes, you worm. No matter how much you do, I'm still gonna end your life. Shiva, who was also accompanying the demon, would try to make a move, but Goku, with great anger, was able to hold him from his head, burying him with great force. Shiva, at the moment, would expel an incredible aura of lightning, with the intention of freeing himself and causing some damage to his enemy, but it was impossible. Because on this occasion, for Goku, that lightning discharge was a simple breeze all over his body. So Goku, as if it were a beast, would smash him against everything that put in his step, which would leave everyone surprised, since this was not Goku's attitude. Mr. Goku's attitude's changed too much, because despite emanating that warm ki, his essence is very similar to death, even surpasses the destruction of the same destroyer.
I can't believe the power Kakarot's achieved, but I knew he'd be the one to end these damn worms.
Goku, with a big kick, had sent him flying. While Goku was slowly approaching his prey, Shiva would panic, but he wasn't able to move any of his muscles. However, that demon, with all the power, he was able to free himself from that pressure, so that at that moment, he launched himself against Goku at an incredible speed. But for Goku, this was nothing. I'd planned to let you live for a few minutes, but since you want to die so much, I'll fulfill your wish.
Goku would stretch out one of his hands behind his head, throwing a powerful attack which was able to reduce the powerful demon to mere ashes, which was able to humiliate even Whis. Goku's gaze would draw a manacled smile towards Shiva.
Where's your brother, Yasuke? Isn't he coming to help you?
What are you? You're a monster! None of us! Not even Ziko has been able to increase his power this way.
I can't believe that your brother was able to revive me, only for me to end the whole divine kingdom.
Wait, how do you know that? You're a pathetic mortal. You can't have the divine knowledge.
Since I had my battle with him, I knew, but I had a few doubts. But as time passed, I was able to realize the reason why he had resurrected me.
Damn, this is bad. No puppet of my brother's been revealed like this damn worm. He's going to kill me.
Well, that's enough talk, because if I end your life, your brother can still bring you to life, so you have nothing to fear.
Shiva would remember all the bodies and negative energy that was required, so he preferred to stay dead. Goku would throw a powerful sphere of energy, however a quick lightning was able to save Shiva. That's right, Yasuke had arrived on the battlefield.
Goku, be very careful, because unlike last time, this is his original body.
That's right, Goku. The power that is able to expel Yasuke this time, you have no comparison, so stay on guard.
Brother, you okay? Damn worm, you've been the worst resurrection I've committed. You had to thank me. I gave you another chance to get revenge on these miserable.
Are you sure you want me to get revenge? The only thing you wanted was for me to end the whole divine world. Because you did it, and I still don't understand. If your power surpasses all these warriors by 1,000,000 times.
That's none of your business. But right now I plan to send you to the world of the dead to which you belong. Whis, you remember, if it was he who warned us about the threat of Son Goku. He spread all the information to the 12 universes.
That's right, Mr. Beerus, I remember. But apparently, it was all an elaborate plan, since he was even the one who brought Mr. Goku to life back. There are no more doubts. The one responsible for all my friends betraying me was you, damn it. Now I'll end your life.
Goku would charge at a great speed, but he would come out full of wounds because Yasuke would instantly release an amazing power that was even able to cause incredible damage to Goku's entire body. Since Yasuke's power level this time was extremely incredible, so much so that he wasn't allowed Goku to move freely, while everyone present was on their knees on the verge of death.
This bastard really turned out to have an incredible power, but I'm the protector of all these multiverses. I'm not allowed to lose.
Goku, with his great determination, would stand up, and in the same way would begin to release all his power. However, a great barrier would cover everyone present so that they were able to stay alive. The power is both amazing, but I feel that Yasuke's power surpasses Goku's power by dozens of times. This is bad.
Whis, we can see how Yasuke is able to overcome all the power of Son Goku, but Goku's always had a plan up his sleeve. I don't know, Mr. Beerus, as your enemy's power this time seems to be of an incomprehensible level.
We have to pray that Mr. Goku gets the victory this battle, because otherwise all of us will die. Goku was able to expel all his power, so for all the 12 universes, great chaos was being caused, since Goku wasn't able to neutralize the clash of energies completely.
I promise that when all this is over, I'll bring them back to life, because if I don't end this guy's life, we'll all die.
Both warriors threw themselves against each other, so a big fight would be generated all over the place. While in the kingdom of the whole, Daishanken, like Zeno-sama, were being consumed by a much higher energy than the previous time. But the simple essence of Goku was able to give some support to Daishanken, since he was the warrior who had the purest heart. Unlike Zeno-sama being like a child, it was much easier to manipulate. So Daishanken, having the opening, he would release all his power, with which he had disintegrated the whole essence of Yasuke.
That's the power of Lord Goku. It's an incredible power, but thanks to him, I've been able to release all this essence. Now I must help the great Zeno-sama.
Daishanken would begin to flow large amounts of energy through the body of Zeno-sama. However, it wasn't enough, because the power of Zeno-sama was hundreds of times greater than the power of Daishanken. So Daishanken would communicate telepathically with both goddesses to feel their power.
Mikoshin, Nene, please, I ask for your help. The great Zeno-sama was infected with all that negative energy. I've been able to free myself, but I need more power.
Goku, while exchanging blows, would communicate in the same way with both goddesses.
Go, Mikoshin and Nene! Because if things get bad, we have the support of the two most powerful beings in this entire multiverse. Both goddesses would quickly go to the Kingdom of the Whole, so when they arrived between the three, they began to invade the entire spiritual sea of Zeno-sama with their own energy. But Zeno-sama was able to expel a great power, accessing their combat form, granting several blows to those present. Damn worms! I'll not allow the dream of the great Yasuke of this whole multiverse that has been taken away from him.
My lord, I ask for an apology, but I will have to put my hands on his body, even if I have to put him out of combat to save him.
Don't make me laugh, Dai. You don't have the required power to stand up to me, so you better take my side again. You're completely wrong, you cursed dwarf, because this time, Daishanken's not alone. He does have us. That's right. You don't remember who you were so afraid of? We are the super gods are back, and we're able to cope with your pathetic form of combat. I agree with you simple goddesses, but with the power that Yasuke-sama's given me, it'll not be enough for you. The whole place would quickly change to a dead zone, due to the power that all the warriors were releasing, and at the moment, the trio of warriors launched themselves against Zeno-sama, which, despite giving them powerful blows, Zeno-sama did not show any damage, but one of his blows was able to connect to Mikoshin, sending her flying to a planet, destroying it on simple impact, which would leave everyone else surprised.
This is amazing. You didn't possess all that power. What happened to you?
I'm being able to master all the power that the mighty Yasuke-sama has bestowed on me, so his death is getting closer and closer. Returning to the battle of Yasuke and Goku, both seemed to be very evenly matched. However, Yasuke's body was with a few wounds, but his power was beginning to decrease, unlike Goku's power. But his body was massacred, since Yasuke's speed surpassed him on several occasions, being able to give him gravity blows. Ow, my whole body hurts! Despite having many more energy reserves, this wretch is capable of causing me great harm.
I never thought that a mere mortal would be able to measure one against the battle with me. My power begins to decrease. If I do nothing, this may be my last battle.
Mr. Goku, don't forget everything I've taught you. We trust you, Mr. Goku. Use all the knowledge and power of Saiyan.
Kakarot, I'm proud to belong to the same race as you and to witness how a warrior considered low class will end with a god of the highest level.
Of course, Vegeta. Take that for granted. Even if my body explodes into pieces, I plan to put an end to this miserable murderer.
Do not say things that you'll be able to fulfill, because even though you have many more energy reserves, your body's still in pieces.
It's true, but my body, being the body of a warrior, I'm sure it's capable of supporting all my energy reserves for the next 10 minutes. Goku's body would begin to emanate an unreal power. So much was Goku's power that on this occasion, he was able to bring almost Yasuke to his knees. Even the barrier that protected everyone else seemed to crack.
Goku's plans to use all his power in the next 10 minutes. Damn, I can't leave Shiva in this place. This monster would end his life.
But Yasuke, when he was about to teleport his brother, a powerful palm was able to crash Shiva to the ground. And at the moment of a great attack turning him into simple dust of the universe, Yasuke wasn't able to react, because at the moment, he would be sent to fly with a powerful blow, which he even felt as if it had snatched half of the soul. Yasuke would fall to the ground, vomiting large amounts of blood.
I can't believe a leader of the underworld knights perished before a mere mortal.
This is my last blow. If you could try to stand it, but with this blow I plan to send you to the other world. Goku's fist radiated an incredible power. That's right, 100% of Goku's power was concentrated in that fist. So at the moment of throwing it, a powerful dragon would form all over the ground, ending Yasuke's life. Even though he has released much more power, leaving no trace of it, so instantly, the King of the Whole, Zeno-sama, would still fall to the ground, losing all the power that Yasuke had granted him. Goku had been knocked out of combat for the next 2 months, so in the end, he was able to wake up. But Daishanken, with the help of the Super Dragon Balls, he had already brought all the fallen warriors on the battlefield.
Mr. Goku, we ask for an apology for being manipulated.
Don't worry, I'll always be the protector of all these multiverses.
Kakarot, will you come back?
Of course, Vegeta. I'll come sometimes, but currently, I'll stay to live in Universe 14, along with Mikoshin and Nene. All the gods and warriors said goodbye to the warrior who was able to bring peace to all the 12 universes.
It was a normal day in the life of the inhabitants of planet Earth. People were eating in restaurants, walking with their families. There were children playing when suddenly a giant lightning bolt was seen in the sky that caused a strong movement throughout the Earth's surface. Buildings collapsed. People could not stand up. Windows exploded. All this resulted in car accidents and injuries. At the moment, a child was going to be pierced by a giant glass that fell from a building. Very close by, we see how a being that we cannot distinguish who it is flies through the skies at great speed, rescuing people who were in danger due to the strong movement. At the precise moment when the child was about to die, that being rescues him, seeing how a huge piece of glass explodes against the ground. We see how this hooded being stands up from behind, revealing that it was none other than Goku, who had been hidden for a long time because Daishanken and the angels wanted to see him dead. Goku, with a different appearance than the one we all know, after rescuing the boy, is amazed by the energy that emerges from the earth to the sky. We can see how Vegeta arrives at the place where Goku is together with the Z Warriors, who were still saving people from the disaster. Vegeta looks at Goku face to face and says, "Kakarot, insect, where have you been all this time?" At that moment, Gohan and Goten arrive and tell him, "Dad, where have you been?" "What happened to you, father?" All this happened while Piccolo, Krillin, Trunks, and Android 18 were rescuing the people affected by the movement. After having finished saving them, they arrive to where they are reunited with Goku and look at him very surprised. In a head-to-toe scan, we can see Goku's face very emaciated, with wounds and pronounced cheekbones because he had not tasted any kind of food for a long time. At that moment, we go back in time about 20 years ago. We see how Goku and his son Goten are walking together in the forest. Goku, talking to his son, says, "Hey Goten, are you ready to fish today?" To which Goten replies, "Yes, Dad. Will you show me the fastest way to catch them?" Goku, happy for his son's enthusiasm, replies, "Of course, Goten, but this time I'm going to try something different. Watch this." Goku dives into the water and after a short time comes out with a big jump with a huge fish moving on his hands. Goten, very surprised, says to his father, "Wow, Dad, how did you do that?" Goku, showing a very happy expression, says, "When I was little like you, Goten, I had to find my own food in order to live. You should try to give it a try." Goten, very excited, says to his father, "I'll try." And so Goten dives into the water to the joyful sight of his father, to which, on the first attempt, Goten fails to catch any fish. Seeing Goten's sad face, Goku encourages his son, saying, "Don't worry, Goten. It's a matter of practice and patience. The key is to be quick and not scare the fish." So Goten dives in again, but this time it takes a long time to come out. When suddenly Goku feels a very powerful key very close to where he was. Because of this, Goku worried about his son's dives in search of him. Once in the water, he sees Goten fainted and next to him a very strange artifact. Goku, worried about the state in which he found his son, swims to rescue him. At the moment, he was about to lift his son in his arms, ready to go to the surface, the strange artifact begins to emit a very sharp sound that only Goku hears. Wu, with a face of confusion and pain, tries to lift his son, but suddenly the artifact comes off the ground and permeates his chest. Once on his chest, the artifact stops emitting that strange sound and Goku stops feeling the key of a moment ago. Goku does not take importance to what had happened to him and worried about his son. He lifts him up to get him out of the water. Once outside, Goku puts his son on the ground to revive him, but suddenly an unknown being appeared to him. This being had a greenish coat, blue hair with black tips, and it was a very strange appearance. But it did not seem to be something real. It looked like an illusion. Goku, upon realizing this being, became alert and put his son in good protection. After that, addressing the being, he asks him, "Who are you? What do you want here?" This being, without uttering a word, rushes at high speed towards Goku, who in an act of reflex manages to dodge the first blow. But the speed of the stranger exceeds him by far. Because of that, after dodging the first blow, the unknown being lunges with a kick to the head, which Goku barely manages to block. leaving his stomach exposed, where he takes the opportunity to impact a direct punch, automatically leaving Goku out of air, and thus returns to lunge with a blow to the nape of the neck. Goku, when he was about to lose consciousness, hears a voice in the distance that says, "Apparently this is my best guest that could touch me," saying this in a sarcastic way. "I hope my colleagues are in good condition." After hearing these words, Goku faints. A few minutes after the fleeting confrontation, Goku regains consciousness, and realizing that the unknown being was no longer in the place, he looks for Goten, and when he finds him, he begins to unexpectedly and repeatedly call his name to make him react. Seeing that calling him had no effect, he feels his breathing and notices that he was almost not breathing. He creates an energy sphere in his hand and places it on Goten's chest. Once Goten revives the energy from his father, he reacts and spurts water from his mouth. Goten, with a puzzled expression, asks his father what had happened, to which Goku says, "I have the same question for you. What happened?" Goten tells him that at the precise moment he was about to capture the fish, he felt attracted to the artifact, which also tried to impregnate in his chest. At the time, Goten felt a strong source of energy that ran through every part of his body, which was very difficult to control, and felt how that strange energy weakened him until he lost consciousness and fainted. Goku in his thoughts, and that he also felt the same strange and very powerful energy running through his body, and worried about his son, asked him if he still felt that energy inside him. Goku calmly and a little puzzled told him no, that he only felt that when the artifact was trying to permeate him. While this was happening on Earth, Whis and Beerus went to the Kingdom of Everything to talk to Daishanken, since they had noticed him very tense and worried. Once they were already in the Kingdom of Everything, Daishanken appears with a very serious expression, while Whis and Beerus bow to him to show respect. Daishanken, relieved to see that Whis and Beerus were with him, tells them something very strange and dangerous is about to happen. Whis, with a puzzled expression, asks, "What is it, father? We'd noticed a certain tension in the air as we reached the realm of the whole." Beerus, yawning without realizing the seriousness of the fright, says to him, "Trouble again? What could be so dangerous to make Daishanken so worried?" "Serious? And worried, the High Priest?" To which Daishanken replies, "Yes, I'm afraid so. A powerful entity has resurfaced, once we have not faced in a long time." Whis, with a very serious expression, says to him, "An unknown entity? Could it be one of the beings we left sealed away long ago?" "It is possible, Whis. Its energies are as dark as they are disconcerting. I cannot identify the source with certainty, but its power is overwhelming." Beerus, frowning, says, "Why should I worry about it? If it's that strong, I'll go and destroy it." Daishanken, with a very serious expression, explains, "It's not that simple, Lord Beerus. This entity seems to have the ability to change even the most ancient gods. We cannot underestimate it." Whis thoughtfully asks his father, "How do you suggest we deal with this situation, father?" "We need to gather information before we act rashly. Whis, Beerus, I trust you with the task of investigating. Find out all you can about this entity and any weaknesses it may have." Beerus, smiling confidently, exclaimed, "Good, good. A little action won't hurt." Nodding, Whis replies, "We will be on our way, Daishanken, but be aware that if this entity threatens our universe, we will not hesitate to take drastic measures." "I understand, Whis. May wisdom guide your actions, and may you return with the information we need." After that conversation, Whis and Beerus depart for the hitherto unknown destination, while Daishanken watches with concern, aware of the gravity of the situation looming in the realm of everything. As they were on their way back to Earth to ask for Goku and Vegeta's help, Whis recalls that when they were on their way to the realm of everything, he sensed a very strong and dangerous ki on planet Earth. Halfway through his quest in the universe, he stops and, confused, Beerus says to Whis, "What's wrong? Why are you stopping?" Whis, very serene, says to Beerus, "Oh, my dear Lord Beerus, it turns out on our way to the realm of everything, I detected a rather intriguing presence." Yawning, Beerus asks, "A mysterious entity? We didn't need to get any of what Daishanken told us." Whis, with a nervous smile, replies, "Don't worry, Mr. Beerus. This time it doesn't seem to be a direct threat. I just felt a fleeting flash of power, something that crossed our path." Beerus frowns at Whis. "And you didn't give it any importance? Isn't that what Daishanken was talking about?" "Well, the truth is, I didn't consider it an immediate threat. It was like a flash of power energy, but it disappeared as quickly as it came. It didn't seem to have any hostile intentions." Beerus, thinking about the situation, asks, "So what shall we do then? Does Daishanken want us to investigate something like this?"
Yes, but I think the best option is to go ahead with our main mission, to find out what the entity has surfaced. The fleeting presence may be a mere detail compared to what awaits us. So Whis and Beerus went on their way through the universe, looking for the entity Daishanken mentioned without giving so much importance to what happened on Earth. Back on Earth, the precise moment Goku rescued his son Goten, Goku, confused by what had happened to his son and the strange artifact that had impregnated in his chest, told Goten, "Let's go home immediately." As they flew on their way home, Goku tries to sense Vegeta's ki so he could teleport with him, as soon as he left his son with his mother Chi-Chi. At that moment, we see how Vegeta was already gathered by the Z Warriors, Krillin, Android 18, Piccolo, Tenshinhan, Chaos, Gohan, Future Trunks, and Master Roshi, who were talking about the strong and dark energy they had felt. Goku and Goten arrive home, and his mother, worried because they had taken a long time to return, runs to Goten and says, "Goten, son, are you alright?" To which Goten replies, "Don't worry, Mom, we're fine." Chi-Chi raises her head to Goku and notices that he's very serious. She lowers her gaze a little and notices the strange artifact he had on his chest. Chi-Chi asks him, "Goku, what's that you have there? Are you alright?" Goku immediately changes his expression with a fake smile reply. "Oh, don't worry, it's nothing important." Chi-Chi, in a very insistent way, "Goku, don't fool me, what happened?" "This thing I have on my chest. This very strange artifact I have on my chest. Well, it's a strange artifact, but I'm fine, really. I'm going to find out what it is and we'll get on with our lives." Chi-Chi, worried about Goku, hugs him and says, "Promise me you'll come back, Goku." To which Goku, with a smile, answers her yes. While he was about to make the teleportation, Goku says goodbye, saying to Goten, "Take care of your mother. I'll be right back." He teleports. Moments before Goku arrived to meeting the Z Warriors, as they were at Bulma's house, they were talking about what they had felt a moment ago. Vegeta, with a very serious expression, asks, "Did anyone else feel that dark energy? I can't identify it, but it's disturbing." Piccolo, frowning, replies, "Yes, I felt it. It's as if it disappeared immediately as soon as we felt it. Something's not right." Gohan, very worried, says, "Dad, Goten are with my mother. We should look for them." At that moment, Goku appears in front of them through teleportation and says very seriously, "Guys, I felt a strange presence. Something happened with Goten, but I rescued him." Piccolo, analyzing everything that happened, notices something strange on Goku's body and asks him, "Goku, what's that artifact on your chest?" "That's what I want to find out. But before that, I need to tell you something." To everyone's expectant and uncertain gaze, he says, "The strange energy you felt came from this artifact in my chest." Vegeta frowns and asks, "How's it possible? Does that device emit that energy?" Goku, somewhat worried, nods and says, "It seems so. The moment I rescued Goten, this artifact permeated my chest, and I began to feel an incredible amount of pressure coursing through every part of my body." Piccolo, thinking about everything Goku was telling them, asks, "And how did it get in your chest?" "The artifact was underwater right next to Goten, who had fainted. As soon as I was approaching it, it emitted a very sharp sound that didn't allow me to get close to Goten. Despite that, I managed to get close, and out of nowhere, it jumped in front of my chest to stay there. After everything that had happened with Goten, I tried to take it off, but when I did it again, it came back to permeate my chest. We must find out what this artifact is and why it has such a great amount of power. I'm counting on you." Vegeta, determined, says, "Let's do it. We won't let any threat catch us off guard." Future Trunks earnestly tells everyone, "I agree. Together, we'll figure out what's going on." Goku thanks all his friends for the support they were giving him, but at that moment he changes his joyful expression to one of seriousness, as he remembered what had happened just before he lost consciousness. Gohan, noticing the sudden change in his father's expression, asks him, "Dad, what's wrong? Is there anything else you must tell us?" Vegeta adds, "Insect, you're not hiding anything from us, are you?" Goku remembered what had happened at that moment. With an expression of concern and anguish, he tells them about the fight he had with an unknown being, which exceeds his strength by far. And he remembers that the entity mentioned that he had colleagues that he had hoped would be alright. Piccolo, with fear but serene, says to Goku, "Are you sure of what you're saying? For what you are telling us is very dangerous. If he surpasses your strength by far, in that case we wouldn't stand a chance against him. We'd be a hindrance rather than a support, Goku." Goku, after hearing that, tells him what he felt in the confrontation. The moment the unknown being appeared, I felt the same amount and type of power, and the dark ki that ran through my body as the strange artifact permeated my chest. As soon as Goku finished telling what had happened, as soon as he got out of the water, Piccolo came up with an idea. It wasn't that far-fetched, but he could explain what the strange artifact was and why he was facing the unknown being. Piccolo, observing the artifact, turns to Goku saying,
"This looks familiar. It may be like a containment urn, like the ones we used at the Mafuba to seal powerful beings."
Surprised Goku, "Really, Piccolo? Do you think this could be something like that?" Krillin, looking at the artifact, "An artifact like this one, used with the Mafuba on Goku's chest? Since when did battles become so complicated?" "There's always something new with you Saiyans." Master Roshi, somewhat excited, but at the same time serious, exclaimed,
"Ah, Mafuba! I remember when we sealed King Piccolo with that. Do you think Goku has such a strong enemy inside?"
Future Trunks, analyzing what had happened, says, "It makes sense. The Mafuba urns are powerful devices to contain evil energies. Could this artifact have sealed something?"
"I don't care if it's from the Mafuba or anywhere else. I just want to know how to get rid of this thing once and for all. It's a possibility. The urns we use to keep very strong enemies under control, but why did it attach yourself to Goku?"
"I'm not sure, but what I do know is that this energy is linked to a very powerful entity."
"Whatever it is, if it's linked to that artifact, we cannot underestimate it. So what do you plan to do, Kakarot?"
At that moment, the Kaio-sama of the North telepathically communicates with Goku to tell him that he had information about the powerful energy that they felt, and the mysterious artifact that permeated his chest. Kaio-sama tells him to get to his planet quickly. "First, we need information. Kaio-sama has information about this artifact and the being that might be inside it." "We must go to Kaio-sama so we can find out what we're dealing with." Vegeta nods and Goku continues, "Exactly, but first, I need your help. If there are any more entities like this, the Earth could be in danger. And with this connection to the artifact, I could put them at risk. Therefore, I'll only go to Kaio-sama to get the information to get rid of this artifact."
"Kakarot, don't even think that you'll do this alone. I'll go with you, insect. I can't accept that you become stronger than me."
Goku accepts and asks him to put his hand on his shoulder. Once Goku and Vegeta left, the Z Warriors sensed unknown presences on the planet, so they split into groups and flew off at high speed to go investigate. With the reevaluation that the artifact at Goku's chest might be like a containment urn, similar to those used in Mafuba, the Z Warriors faced an increasingly complex and dangerous situation. Uncertainty about what such an artifact contains and how it is connected to the mysterious dark energy fills them with worry. While Goku and Vegeta were to where Kaio-sama and the Z Warriors went to investigate the unknown presences they had detected in space, Whis and Beerus, after having traversed much of space, felt a strong amount of dark energy, so they immediately head to where it was. As they are about to reach the source of the dark energy, the pressure in the air becomes more intense as they get closer, and the unknown entity awaits their arrival.
"Why do I feel like this is going to be more complicated than we thought?"
"Mr. Beerus, the information we gain here could be crucial to understanding the threat we face on Earth." The unknown entity, surrounded by a dark aura, reveals itself in front of Whis and Beerus. Its presence is overwhelming and a sinister laugh echoes in space. Unknown entity mockingly welcomes them, saying,
"I expected your arrival. You took longer than I expected. Do not underestimate the gods. We're here to stop any threat that endangers our universe."
"Before any confrontation, can you tell us who you are and what you're doing here?"
Oh, that's funny. I'm known as Ryuk, disciple of the Devourer of Worlds. I have come to free the Master, the most powerful being who ever lived.
The expression on Whis' and Beerus' faces become much more serious upon hearing Ryuku's name.
Ryuk, that name rings a bell.
"Ryuk is an ancient threat, Lord Beerus. His master, he and the other disciples were sealed away a millennia ago due to his unquenchable thirst for power and destruction."
So it looks like we have a problem. This time it won't be as easy sealing him again.
The space fills with palpable tension as Ryuk, surrounded by a dark and malevolent aura, confronts Whis and Beerus. The dark energy emanating from him seems to distort the very fabric of space around him.
Problem, you say? You are correct, little god. The Master has been patiently awaiting your release, and now with my arrival, that time has finally come.
Beerus moves into combat stance with a determined expression on his face, while Whis remains composed but alert.
I have no time for games. If your master is a threat, we'll stop you here and now.
Tell us more about your master. Understanding his motivations might help us find a peaceful solution. Ryuk chuckles mischievously, revealing his sharp fangs, that disappears in a dark flash before reappearing behind Beerus with astonishing speed.
There's nothing they can do to stop the Master's inevitable resurgence. But before that, they could entertain me.
The battle begins. Ryuk throws a swift punch towards Beerus, but the Destroyer Guy nimbly dodges and responds with an energy punch that Ryuk blocks easily. Meanwhile, Whis watches carefully, waiting for the right moment to intervene. Ryuk's speed is impressive, but Beerus manages to keep up. They exchange blows and energy blasts in a combat that seems to defy the laws of space itself. Ryuk's dark energy distorts reality around him, making its impact more dangerous and intense. Oh, Beerus, your speed is amazing, but that dark energy is problematic. I suggest you be careful with your movements. Beerus nods as he dodges an enemy attack and counterattacks with an energy wave. Ryuk, undeterred, vanishes and reappears in front of Whis, challenging him to enter the fight.
And you, assistant of the god, will you dare to face me?
Whis smiles serenely and disappears in a flash, only to reappear behind Ryuk. I have no intention of fighting, but if that's what you wish. Before Whis finishes his sentence, Ryuk turns around and launches his fierce attack towards him. Whis, with his extraordinary speed, dodges each blow with grace. Space convulsed with the fury of the cosmic confrontation between Whis, Beerus, and Ryuk. Each move shattered reality itself. As Ryuk's dark energy and the god's divine blast intertwined in a demonstration of opposing forces, Ryuk, his ominous figure shrouded in a dark aura, moved with breathtaking speed. His sinister left echoed through the emptiness of space, challenging the gods who faced him.
This guy's faster than I thought.
As Beerus' words fade away, Ryuk disappears in the blink of an eye and reappears in front of him with a punch charged with dark energy. Beerus manages to block the attack, but the force of impact sends shockwaves through space. Ryuk breaks away from Beerus with a smirk, and in a flash lunges towards Whis. His movements were fluid. Whis, on the other hand, moves gracefully, dodging each blow with the grace of a cosmic dancer. This dark power is intriguing, but it is out of balance. Ryuk, frustrated by Whis' evasive ability, concentrates his dark energy in his hands and launches it as a flare. Whis responds by creating an energy barrier, but the resulting collision sends shockwaves through space, shaking nearby stars. Beerus takes advantage of Ryuk's distraction and lunges at him with a punch charged with divine energy. Ryuk blocks the blow, but the resulting force causes an explosion that creates the ephemeral supernova in the cosmos. The fight continues with unmatched speed. Ryuk demonstrates his skill in anticipating the gods' moves, while Beerus and Whis unleash their divine power to counter the darkness that threatens to engulf them. In a moment of pause, Ryuk grins mischievously and his dark aura begins to intensify. A transformation was underway. The darkness concentrates around his body, forming a sort of dark cocoon that breaks, revealing a transformed figure. Now Ryuk has evolved. His previous form pales in comparison to the manifestation of his current power. His figure has become more imposing, with twisted shadows dancing around him as if they were extensions of his own essence. Sharp fangs glow with dark radiance, and his eyes emit a malevolent light.
Ha ha ha! This is just a glimpse of my true power.
Beerus and Whis exchange a worried glance. The pressure in the air becomes even more intense. Ryuk, now in his transformation form, launches himself towards the gods with outstanding speed. Beerus tries to counterattack with a sphere of divine energy, but Ryuk dodges each projectile with ease, moving through the bursts of light with supernatural agility. Meanwhile, Whis stands in reverse, watching the fight with analytical eyes. In a quick blink, Ryuk appears in front of Beerus and unleashes a series of vicious blows. The sonic sounds of punches and echoes kicked through space as the gods and devourer of worlds, discipled, plunge into a frenzy of combat. Beerus, struggling to keep up with Ryuk's speed, takes a direct punch to the stomach that sends him drifting into space. Before he can recover, however, Ryuk lunges at him and blasts him with a barrage of blows.
The situation becomes even more complicated when Ryuk, in a ruthless act, concentrates dark energy in his hand and drives it through Beerus' abdomen. The Destroyer God lets out a roar of pain as darkness spreads from the point of impact. Whis, seeing the stark reality, springs into action. His figure flashes in space as he stands in front of Ryuk, blocking his attacks.
I cannot allow you to harm my lord in this way.
Whis' divine energy collides with Ryuk's darkness in a show of cosmic power. The battle intensifies and the fate of the universe hangs in the balance as the confrontation between light and darkness reaches its climax. The confrontation between Whis and Ryuk intensified as space became the stage for their fierce cosmic battle. The clash of divine and dark energies echoed in the void of the universe, creating ripples that stretched to the far reaches of space.
You think you can stop me, Whis?
The master of divine martial arts, Whis, maintained his serene composure as he resisted the onslaught of the Devourer of Worlds disciple. His divine aura glowed brightly, fighting against the darkness that threatened to envelop him. Whis, with a wave of his hand, unleashed a blast of divine energy that forced Ryuk back momentarily. However, the smile on the dark being's face revealed that he was far from giving up.
Ryuk, your quest for power will only lead to destruction.
Ryuk, releasing a sinister laugh, launched himself at Whis with renowned furiosity. Each exchange of blows was like a clash of titans, with the fate of the universe hanging in the balance. Meanwhile, Beerus was recovering from the wounds inflicted by Ryuk, watching the battle with critical eyes. The darkness that had pierced his abdomen was beginning to dissipate thanks to divine regeneration, but the experience had left an indelible mark.
This creature's more formidable than I imagined.
And determined not to be a mere spectator, Beerus joined the battle with renowned determination. His figure flashed with divine energy that rivaled Whis', creating a spectacle of light and shadow in space. The three powerful beings engaged in a cosmic dance, with flashes of divine and dark energy illuminating the vastness of the universe. Ryuk, without losing his smirk, took advantage of his transformation to increase his speed and strength, challenging the gods with every move. The combat reached new levels of complexity when Whis, in a flash of cunning, unleashed a divine teleportation technique. He moved at the speed of thought, appearing and disappearing at different points in space, keeping Ryuk on the defensive.
Ugh, you can't dodge me forever, Whis.
As Whis and Ryuk clashed in space, Beerus focused on channeling his divine energy. The Destroyer God sank into a meditative state, concentrating on unleashing his true power. Beerus' transformation was gradual but impactful. His figure was enveloped in a golden aura, and his eyes shone with the intensity of a star. Divine power flowed through him, manifesting in a form that only the mightiest gods could attain, allowing the grievous wound left by Ryuk to be healed.
It's time to put an end to this.
The reborn Beerus lunged towards Ryuk with unparalleled speed. Each blow he delivered was imbued with overwhelming divine energy. Ryuk, though powerful, was overwhelmed by the onslaught of the Destroyer God. Meanwhile, Whis continued his cosmic ballet, defying the laws of space and time with his speed and agility. Every move was calculated, every blow strategically executed. The battle reached its climax as Beerus and Whis coordinated, combining their attacks to create a symphony of divine energy that enveloped Ryuk. The pressure in the air became almost tangible, and the cosmos itself seemed to rumble with the intensity of the conflict.
Do you have anything to say, Ryuk?
Ryuk, gravely wounded but still defiant, let out a shrill laugh. His figure writhed as the dark energy tried to resist the overwhelming pressure of the gods.
This is not the end, gods. My master will be released, and his darkness will devour all.
Beerus, showing no mercy, unleashed a sphere of concentrated divine energy and hurled it directly at Ryuk. The resulting explosion illuminated the space, dispelling the darkness that had lingered. Silence fell over the space as the gods watched the wreckage of the battle. Ryuk lay motionless, defeated, but not destroyed. His threat had been contained, at least for now.
This is not over. We need to find out more about his master and any threat that may arise.
Whis nodded, sharing the same determination. The reality of the danger that stalked the universe became more apparent, and the gods knew they had to prepare to face even greater challenges. The cosmic explosion that marked the end of the fierce battle dissipated into the vast space, leaving Whis and Beerus floating in momentary tranquility. As they regained their composure, a flash of gold announced the arrival of Daishanken, the High Priest, who appeared before them with a serene but worried expression.
I see you've dealt with the threat, dear Whis and Beerus.
Yes, Father. Ryuk has been contained, at least for now.
But this isn't the end, is it?
Daishanken smiled wisely as he held in his hands a strange artifact, a glowing sphere that emanated an energy like the one they felt during the battle.
This is what I wanted to show you. It's known as the Sphere of Divine Containment, an ancient artifact capable of sealing beings of great power and darkness.
Beerus and Whis watched intently as Daishanken explained the function of the sphere and how it was used to keep the most dangerous entities in the universe at bay.
This artifact has been kept in safekeeping for eons. It's only brought to light in extreme situations. The dark energy they felt came from one of these sealed entities, released by Ryuk's recklessness.
Whis and Beerus exchanged worried glances as they assimilated the information.
Who are these sealed entities? They are beings from the distant past, fallen gods and creatures whose thirst for power make them uncontrollable. The Sphere of Divine Containment is our safeguard against their resurgence.
So, Ryuk was one of them, and his master?
His master is the Devourer of Worlds, an even more ancient and dangerous being. His release could jeopardize existence itself.
The gravity of the situation hung heavy in the air as Daishanken continued to explain the importance of keeping the Sphere of Divine Containment safe and sealing Ryuk again.
Now that Ryuk has been contained, it's crucial that he returns to his place of safekeeping. But we also need to get information from him. We need to know more about the Devourer of Worlds' plans and any threats that may arise.
Beerus, Whis, and Daishanken shared a determined look. The task was not complete. There is still work to be done.
If interrogating Ryuk could give us answers, we'll do so, but we must proceed with caution.
The information we gathered will be essential to prepare for future threats. Also, we need to reinforce the security of the Sphere of Divine Containment. Daishanken, with a nod of his head, showed his approval of the god's decision.
Very well. Let us return to the realm of all and set preparations in motion. The safety of the universe depends on us.
The three gods, with the glowing sphere in hand, teleported to the realm of all, ready to confront the shadows of the past and ensure the stability of the universe. The spheres of divine containment, now more than ever, became the beacon of hope amidst the darkness that threatened to emerge. Meanwhile on Earth, the Z warriors, divided into groups, scattered into the sky in the direction of the unknown presences they had sensed on the planet of the northern Kaiosama. In the air, they moved at impressive speeds, ready to face any threat that crossed their path. On Kaiosama's planet, Goku and Vegeta appeared thanks to teleportation, scarring Kaiosama with serious and determined expressions. Kaiosama, who was waiting for them, welcomed them with nervous gestures.
Goku, Vegeta, I'm glad you came so quickly. The information I have is crucial.
We need to know what this artifact is and what threat it poses.
We don't have time to waste. What do you know?
Kaiosama nodded and led the Saiyans to his small home on the planet. Once inside, they unfolded an ancient scroll that revealed information about a mystical artifact known as the Cosmic Core of Containment. He explained that this artifact was used by the ancient gods to seal entities of great evil and power, preventing them from wreaking havoc in the universe.
This artifact is so ancient that there are hardly any records of its creation. It was thought to be lost, but apparently all this time it was hidden on planet Earth.
And how is it supposed to be sealed?
Tell us at once.
Kaiosama explained that the Cosmic Core of Containment could be opened by a being of great power, but in doing so, the seal would be transferred to the first being it encountered. If the seal was not broken immediately, it would merge with that being, granting it power, but also binding it to the duty of keeping the evil sealed.
And how the heck did it end up in Goku's chest?
That's the puzzling thing. It seems that this artifact shows Goku as its carrier.
Goku, with an expression of astonishment, began to grasp the magnitude of the situation. He was now the bearer of an artifact containing an entity of indescribable evil. So you mean I'm now responsible for keeping this evil under control.
What an honor, Kakarot. It seems you've become the guardian of evil.
But there is something else. The being sealed inside the urn is incredibly powerful. He's known as Bahamut, the Devourer of Worlds. It is an ancient entity that has consumed entire worlds.
The gravity of the situation was reflected on the faces of Goku and Vegeta. Not only did they have to face the mysterious artifact in Goku's chest, but also the dark entity sealed within. Then we have an important task. We must keep Bahamut under control and, at the same time, figure out how to free ourselves from this burden.
Yes, make no mistake, Kakarot. If this threatens Earth, I'll not hesitate to stop you.
Meanwhile on Earth, the Z Warriors faced unusual pressure as they prepared for combat. Each group was ready to deal with the entities they had sensed at Bulma's house, which were minions of Bahamut, the Devourer of Worlds. The dark energy surrounding these minions was intense, and the very air seemed to vibrate with their malevolent presence. The group of Krillin, Master Roshi, and Android 18 encountered one of Bahamut's 4 minions standing on the ground, humanoids with a black, malevolent aura. The Z Warriors prepared for the confrontation with Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi, adopting combat stances. In a chaotic dance of dark energy and flickering explosions, the confrontation between the Z Warriors and Bahamut's henchmen unfolded on the cosmic stage of Earth's defense. Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi, 3 warriors of varying experience and skills, faced a dark menace that threatened to plunge the planet into an abyss of destruction. The stage was permeated with a tense atmosphere as the 3 warriors assumed combat stances, ready to defend the Earth against Bahamut's henchmen, a being whose malevolent aura eclipsed even the intensity of the sun. I don't know who you are, but we'll not allow you to harm our planet! Krillin's words echoed in the air, charged with determination. Bahamut's henchman, a humanoid with a black malevolent aura, advanced with ferocity, launching a dark attack. Krillin, in a display of amazing agility, dodged the attacks, moving like a gust of wind across the battlefield. Kaizen! In the blink of an eye, Krillin created his signature energy disc and launched it towards the henchman. Kaizen spun furiously, cutting through the air as it headed towards its target. However, the henchman displayed unmatched skill as he dodged the spinning attack, moving with an agility that defied comprehension. The henchman counterattacked with a series of dark, swift strikes, but Krillin was unwilling to give up. With precise and quick movements, he blocked most of the attacks, responding with quick and precise counterattacks. The combat dance between Krillin and the henchman painted a picture of speed and skill, where each movement could change the tide of the battle. Meanwhile, Master Roshi, the aged warrior with vast experience in martial arts, watched the confrontation with a knowing smile. He adopted a firm posture, waiting for his moment to intervene.
You've chosen the wrong man to fight. I've seen more battles than you can imagine.
As Bahamut's henchman lunged towards him, Master Roshi moved with unique grace, dodging the attacks with precise movements and counterattacking with a series of energy blasts. The old man's experience and cunning proved to be a formidable challenge for the henchman, who was forced to deploy all his skills to confront the master. On the other hand, Android 18, the android warrior with formidable strength, advanced towards the henchman with determination. Her eyes glowed with an intense blue light as she unleashed her powerful android energy. Do not underestimate the strength of androids. With a quick wave of his hands, Android 18 launched a wave of energy towards the henchman. The latter, though impressed by the ferocity of the android warrior, showed no signs of recoiling. Instead, it lunged toward her with surprising speed, throwing dark blows that Android 18 dodged with cybernetic agility. The battle between Android 18 and the minion was a display of strength and speed, the bursts of energy lighting up the sky. Both fought with an intensity that could shake the foundations of the universe. Meanwhile, Android 18, a formidable warrior created by Dr. Gero, was ready to demonstrate her immense power. She charged her energy, her body radiating a red glow, and lunged towards the henchman with determination. Don't underestimate me. I'm stronger than you think. The henchman responded with a sudden surge of his dark aura, unleashing a surge of energy that pushed Android 18 back. The force of the impact created a shockwave, kicking up dust and debris in its wake. The battle was intense.
Every move had a purpose and every attack resonated with the Z Warriors' determination to protect their home. Explosions of energy followed one after another, lighting up the battlefield like fireworks in the dark night of space. However, the true magnitude of the threat was yet to be fully revealed. This henchman was only one of 4 sent by Bahamut, and the fate of Earth depended on the ability of the Z Warriors to pass this first test. On the horizon, the other 3 minions awaited their turn, ready to plunge into the fray and test their bravery and skills of Earth's defenders. The intensity of the battle increased with each moment, and while Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi fought against the henchmen, other groups of Z Warriors faced similar challenges in different locations around the planet. The fate of the Earth hung in the delicate balance of the unfolding cosmic battle, and each warrior was determined to give everything for the survival of his home. While the first group of warriors were defending Earth on Kaio-sama's planet in the small house, it was permeated with a tense atmosphere and solemnity as Goku, Vegeta, and Kaio-sama were immersed in the gravity of the situation. The ancient scroll spread out on the table revealed the secrets of an ancient artifact, and the weight now rested on Goku's shoulders.
So you mean I'm now responsible for keeping this evil under control?
The responsibility rested on Goku like a heavy mantle. The cosmic core of containment, that ancestral artifact, had chosen Goku as its carrier, and within it was Bahamut, the devourer of worlds. The gravity of the situation was reflected in the eyes of the Saiyan, who was already mentally preparing himself for a colossal task ahead.
What an honor, Kakarot. Seems you've become the guardian of evil.
The irony of Vegeta's voice did not go unnoticed. While his words might have been sarcastic, the determination in his eyes indicated that, despite any jokes, they were in this together.
But there's something else. The being inside the artifact is incredibly powerful.
The information left Goku and Vegeta silent. Bahamut, the name echoed in their minds like the distant echo of a coming storm. Consuming entire worlds was a threat they could not underestimate.
Then we have an important task. We must keep Bahamut under control and at the same time figure out how to free ourselves from this burden.
The pact was sealed. Together, Goku and Vegeta would take on the challenge of containing Bahamut and discovering a way to free themselves from the burden they now carried. The remaining question was how they would confront the dark entity that lay in Goku's chest. But before they could formulate a plan, a vibration in the air alerted them to the arrival of others.
It seems your friends are in trouble. Go help them.
Goku and Vegeta nodded in a gesture and understanding and, with serious expressions, headed for the door. With a mighty leap, they launched themselves into the sky, ready to join the battle raging on planet Earth. At the moment that Kaio-sama gave the information to Goku and Vegeta, on Earth appeared another henchman of Bahamut who met with the duo of Tenshinhan. This henchman of Bahamut seemed to be an expert in dark martial arts. He moved with supernatural agility, challenging the Z Warriors with swift and lethal movements.
Do not underestimate the strength of humans. Kikoho!
Tenshinhan launched his powerful Kikoho attack, creating an explosion of energy that enveloped Bahamut's henchmen.
This is no ordinary enemy. I must use my powers wisely.
Chaos unleashing his magic, creating illusions and distractions to confuse Bahamut's henchmen. The battle was unfolding on multiple levels, with the Z Warriors fighting against this enemy who seemed to understand the combat arts in unexpected ways. At that moment, realizing that the power with which they were facing Bahamut's henchmen was not enough to stop him, thanks to Chaos's distraction, they took the opportunity to try to escape. But they did not count on the great speed of their rival who, realizing that they wanted to escape, caught up with them, disappearing from the place where he was and appearing in front of them. At the precise moment in which he was about to eliminate Chaos and Tenshinhan, 2 people appeared between them and their rival Goku and Vegeta. Goku and Vegeta, with their gazes fixed on Bahamut's henchmen, shared a silent understanding. The gravity of the situation was clear on their faces, but there was no room for doubt.
Tenshinhan! Chaos! Go and warn the others about this threat. We need time to deal with this.
We don't want them to get hurt because of us. Go! We'll take care of this.
Tenshinhan and Chaos nodded, recognizing the determination in the Saiyan's voices.
Wasting no time, they sped away, leaving Goku and Vegeta facing their formidable opponent. Bahamut's henchman, emanating overwhelming darkness, showed no signs of backing down. His eyes glowed with malice, aware of the battle ahead. The Z Warriors were prepared to face any threat, and this would be no exception.
It's clear that this won't be easy.
That's what makes it exciting. Let's do it, Kakarot.
Goku and Vegeta charged at Bahamut's henchmen with impressive speed. At the moment when both warriors were fighting a battle that could change the fate of Earth, this being who presented himself as Bahamut's henchman, this dark entity with a humanoid shape but a bird's head, was going to be surprised by the abilities of the Saiyan warriors. In the middle of the combat, of all the show of strength between both warriors and this dark being, Takagami, with a confused face but confident that his strength was far superior to that of these earthly warriors, thought, "I'm amazed at the strength these earthly beings possess. I guess they deserve to know who'll kill them." Then at that moment he told them with a malevolent smile, he said, "I've been surprised by warriors. That's why they deserve to know my name. I'm Takagami, sacred god of darkness, follower of the supreme god Bahamut." Goku, very surprised of what he's hearing, said, "More gods? This sounds very dangerous and it's exciting."
Bug, shut up! The life of this planet's at risk, and you get excited about a being that's very powerful.
The speed of the combat accelerated as Goku and Vegeta pounced on Takagami. The energy in the air became dense, vibrating with the intensity of the impending confrontation. Takagami, with his dark aura, stood his ground, disdainfully watching the approaching Saiyans.
Do you think you have a chance against the power of darkness?
Goku and Vegeta continued their advance, wasting no time in unnecessary words. In the blink of an eye, they were in front of Takagami, unleashing a gale of blows. Takagami, with surprising agility, dodged many of the attacks, but some managed to land, demonstrating the strength of the Saiyans. Don't underestimate the power of a Saiyan!
Come on, God of Darkness. Show us what you can do.
Takagami responded to the challenge, unleashing his own fury. His speed and combat skills were amazing, deflecting the blows of Goku and Vegeta with subtle movements. The battle turned into a whirlwind of punches, kicks, and ki blasts, lighting up the sky with flashes of light and darkness.
They're just insects in front of the power of eternal darkness!
Goku in his base state and Vegeta, with their pride as the Saiyan Prince, continued to put pressure on Takagami. However, as the battle progressed, Takagami began to reveal more of his true power. His dark aura intensified and his form subtly changed, revealing a transformation that increased his power exponentially.
This can't be good.
Goku, always excited for a challenge, added, "Vegeta, get ready! This is getting interesting." Takagami's increased power created an overwhelming pressure on the battlefield. His speed increased dramatically, and his strength eclipsed that of the Saiyans. However, Goku and Vegeta were not intimidated. With determination, they raised their own power of levels, taking the battle to new heights. The fighting continued with swift attacks and explosions shaking the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta, now in more advanced forms, kept up the pace, challenging Takagami at every turn. However, despite his efforts, the sacred god of darkness proved to be a formidable adversary.
This is entertaining, but your resistance is useless. The darkness consumes everything.
Goku and Vegeta, without giving up, exchanged determined glances. "Vegeta, it's time to go further!"
Huh, of course, Kakarot.
As Chaos and Ten Shin Han rushed to warn the other Z Warriors, the confrontation between Goku, Vegeta, and Takagami entered a new level of intensity. The struggle for the fate of the universe was in full swing. A cosmic battle was raging on planet Earth, where darkness and light collided in a frantic dance of energy. Goku and Vegeta, the brave Saiyans, were facing Takagami, the Falcon, sacred god of darkness. The intensity of the combat resonated in the universe, and every movement threatened to tear reality itself apart. Takagami, who had increased his power, floated in the air with an imposing presence and dark aura. His eyes glowed with malice as he watched the Saiyans, who stood firm, prepared to defend their fate of the planet. In response to their enemies' increased power, Goku and Vegeta channeled their ki to the maximum, raising their power to the Super Saiyan.
Vegeta, this guy's strong, but that only means that this fight will be even better.
Huh, of course, Kakarot. This is our time to shine.
The planet Earth vibrated with the energy released by the three contenders. The distant stars seemed to pale before the magnitude of the conflict. The clouds were dissipated by such a demonstration of power. Takagami, with his increased speed, lunged at Goku with a darkness-laden punch. Goku, using his elasticity and quickness, dodged gracefully, leaving a trail of flashes around him by the speed at which Takagami was lashing out with his nigh-speed punches. Vegeta, with a burst of ki, stepped between Goku and Takagami, blocking an attack that would have been devastating his fellow Saiyan. The shockwave from the collision sent debris in all directions.
I expected nothing less from you, sacred god of darkness.
Takagami defiantly unleashed a series of dark blasts towards Goku and Vegeta. The Saiyans responded with perfect timing, countering each attack with precise strikes and energy waves. The scene looked like a combat symphony, where every movement was choreographed with divine precision. Goku, with a twinkle in his eye, concentrated his energy on his hands. A bluish sphere of energy began to form, growing in size and luminosity. Vegeta, observing the familiar technique, smiled as he recognized the power that Goku was summoning. A colossal energy wave fired by Goku shot through the sky like lightning, hitting Takagami squarely. However, the darkness was absorbing the energy, and the Falcon emerged unscathed, laughing disdainfully.
Is that all you have, Saiyan?
While Goku was recovering from the effort of his attack, Vegeta launched himself at Takagami with supersonic speed. His fist slammed into the Dark God, creating a shockwave that shook the air. However, Takagami responded with a burst of energy that sent Vegeta backwards.
Ah! Damn, this guy's stronger than I thought.
Goku, recovering, joined the battle again. Both Saiyans, aware that they were facing a formidable enemy, decided that it was time to take the fight to the next level.
Vegeta, how about we show what we can really do? Of course, Kakarot. Let's do it.
Goku and Vegeta began to accumulate energy around them. The atmosphere was charged with an intensity of their ki as they unleashed their advanced forms. Goku transformed into the Super Saiyan Blue, while Vegeta assumed his evolved form, the evolved Blue Super Saiyan. Are they taking each other seriously now? Goku and Vegeta, with their new forms, advanced towards Takagami with renewed determination. The speed and strength of the Saiyans were now incomparable. The impacts resounded like cosmic thunder, creating a symphony of destruction in the sky. The battle became even more intense. Goku and Vegeta, coordinating their movements, attacked Takagami with an impressive combination of techniques and melee attacks. The Falcon, despite its power, was overwhelmed by the ferocity of the Saiyans.
Final flash!
The bursts of energy, one blue and one golden, converged into a titanic explosion that engulfed Takagami. Light and darkness mixed in a burst of dazzling colors. However, when the explosion dissipated, Takagami emerged once more, his form slightly battered, but his determination intact. His power is awesome, but I'm a god. The darkness cannot be defeated so easily. Goku and Vegeta, without giving up, continued the offensive. The speed of his combat reached levels that defied comprehension. Punches and kicks were exchanged in a split second, creating a glow of cosmic collisions.
Big Bang attack! Kaioken 20 times!
The energy exploded again, shaking the sky with its fury. However, Takagami, with his divine resistance, withstood the attacks. The battle raged across the cosmos, with the warriors disappearing and reappearing in flashes of light and shadow. In the middle of the struggle, Goku and Vegeta began to feel an overwhelming pressure. Takagami's darkness seemed to expand, defying even the limits of the most powerful Saiyans. Reality itself was twisting under the influence of dark energy.
This darkness is incredibly strong.
We can't back down now, Kakarot. We must get over this.
Both Saiyans raised their powers even more. The fight reached a new peak of intensity. The Saiyan was exploding like fireworks in the vastness of the night sky, lighting up the darkness with flashes of determination and defiance. Takagami, at the epicenter of the storm, smiled ominously.
Now you'll see the true power of eternal darkness.
The universe trembled as the battle reached its climax. The warriors were fighting for the fate of everything they knew, and the question that lingered in space was whether the light of the Saiyans could overcome the darkness of the sacred god. The planet Earth rumbled with the intensity of the cosmic battle. Goku and Vegeta, drenched in sweat, maintained their advanced forms as they prepared for Takagami's next assault. Darkness was emanating from his figure, but something seemed out of place. The Dark God's skin had a grayish hue, as if he had not yet completed the possession of its wearer. Takagami, with a guttural laugh, seemed to notice the perplexity in the Saiyan's expressions.
Surprise, Saiyans? I've not yet revealed all my power.
Goku and Vegeta exchanged puzzled looks. Something was not right, and both warriors felt it. At that moment, Takagami convulsed. A new form shook, as if he was fighting against something. An invisible force seemed to pull at him from within.
No, I haven't taken complete control yet.
Suddenly, a burst of dark energy enveloped Takagami, hiding him from view. The Saiyans were on guard, prepared for any surprise. Their energy in the air became denser, as if the cosmos itself was on the verge of transformation.
What's going on?
Before they could form any more questions, the dark energy dispersed, revealing Takagami's true form. However, what they saw took their breath away. At the moment of arriving at his true form, he let himself see the body he was possessing. This body was Yamcha's. Once the warriors saw that, Takagami completed his bird-headed humanoid form. And now the true form of the sacred god of destruction was clearly revealed. The falcon's head was clearly shown, with a defined musculature but a thin body, wearing blue Egyptian clothes with gold bracelets and a gold necklace. Huge wings which disappeared and appeared at their whim. Now Takagami had something going for him. He was playing against the Saiyan warriors. Not only should he defeat them, but they should also avoid harming Yamcha.
That's what Yamcha looks like!
Takagami's rumbling laughter filled the space. Now completely in possession of Yamcha's body, the Dark God was displaying a malevolent smile.
That's right, Saiyans. This weak body belongs to me now.
Vegeta gritted his teeth furiously.
Damn it! How dare you possess one of us? It's not just one Saiyan. Soon all of you will become Bahamut puppets.
The reality of the situation hit Goku and Vegeta, but the force of the cosmic impact, the dark entity they were facing was not only a dark god, but also had the power of possessing earthling warriors. Yamcha, now inside the sacred god of darkness, did not have any sign of consciousness. The god had taken control of his being completely.
Ha 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 ha! There's no escape. Bahamut will be released, and this universe will fall into eternal darkness.
Goku and Vegeta shared a determined look. They knew the threat was even greater now. Not only were they fighting a dark god, they were also faced the possibility of losing their friends and allies in this fight.
Vegeta, we have to find a way to free Yamcha and stop Takagami!
Of course, Kakarot. But first, we have to deal with this dark god.
The battle continued, but now the situation was more desperate. Takagami, with Yamcha's body, unleashed an unstoppable fury. The Saiyans struggled not only against eternal darkness, but also against the weight of facing one of their own companions. Explosions of energy lit up the sky, but the inner struggle of Goku and Vegeta was equally intense. Every blow, every burst of ki resonated with the promise of freeing Yamcha and saving the universe from the threat of Bahamut. But Takagami wasn't going to give up so easily.
Do you think you could beat one of the World Eater's henchmen?
The dark energy intensified in the ultimate form of the sacred god of darkness. Now, the freedom to be able to use all his power launched relentless attacks. Goku and Vegeta, with their advanced forms, were fighting with all their might, but the darkness had a firm grip. The struggle dragged on. Every moment seemed like an eternity. Yamcha, although he was just a contender for Takagami, at one point during the fight showed signs of pain on his face. It was as if his very essence was fighting against the darkness that was consuming her.
Yamcha, hold on! Let's get you out of this!
But Goku's words were lost in the storm. Takagami, with a maniacal laugh, continued his assault. The Earth, witness of this cosmic conflict, trembled before the magnitude of the confrontation between light and darkness. Somewhere far away, Chaos and Ten Shinhan, after learning the other Z warriors about the threat, returned to the battlefield. Seeing the situation, Ten Shinhan's face filled with fury as Chaos clenched his fist determinedly.
Takagami, I'll make sure you pay for this!
Both warriors joined the fight, but even with their abilities, facing a dark god who possessed one of his own would not be so easy. The battle turned into a desperate struggle to face Yamcha and stop Bahamut before he was released. During the chaos, Goku and Vegeta shared a look of determination. The darkness could be powerful, but the light of the Saiyans would shine even in the darkest moments. The battle for the fate of the universe was far from over, and Earth's heroes were ready to face any challenges that stood in their way. Taking a trip to the past, one day before the strange artifact was impregnated into Goku's chest, after rescuing his son Goten, Yamcha, oblivious to the imminent danger that was coming, was exploring an ancient Egyptian pyramid during an archaeological expedition. The atmosphere was charged with mystery and the promise of amazing discoveries. Deep inside the pyramid, Yamcha stumbled upon an ancient artifact that was glowing with a dim light. It was an Egyptian bracelet decorated with intricate hieroglyphs. Fascinated by her beauty and attracted by an inexplicable force, Yamcha could not resist and placed the bracelet on his wrist. The moment the bracelet touched his skin, a strange sensation enveloped Yamcha. It was not painful or threatening, but rather captivating. An ancestral connection was established between the earthly warrior and the Egyptian artifact. What Yamcha didn't know was that this artifact contained an ancient power linked to the age of gods and legends. As the light from the bracelet merged with Yamcha, an ancient presence awoke. It was the essence of an ancient god that was lying asleep inside the artifact. However, this being was neither malevolent nor benevolent. It was simply an ancestral force seeking to join a mortal existence, or at least that was what Yamcha felt at that moment. The god, by merging with Yamcha, granted him abilities and knowledge beyond his comprehension. Yamcha felt with a strength and connection to the story itself. The fusion, although puzzling at first, resulted in a unique symbiosis between the earthly warrior and the divine entity. Yamcha didn't know what the bracelet actually was. Returning to the battle, every moment became more challenging for Goku and Vegeta and the earthly warriors. Takagami, now completely liberated, unleashed a destructive force that tested even the most powerful Saiyans. In an effort to turn the tide of the battle, Ten Shinhan and Chaos joined the fight. Both warriors, aware of the threat possessed by Takagami, threw themselves into the fray bravely. His unique skills and determination added a new dynamic to the conflict, but even with his intervention, the darkness persisted.
Ten Shinhan, keep the pressure on. We cannot allow this darkness to take over our world.
Ten Shinhan nodded, concentrating his energy on coordinated attacks with Goku and Vegeta. Despite their combined efforts, Takagami remained a relentless adversary. As the battle reached its peak, Goku and Vegeta, exhausted but without losing their determination, shared a look of mutual understanding. They knew they needed an extra power to face Takagami at his finest. Instantly, an idea crossed their minds of the Saiyans' fusion.
Vegeta, I know it's not something you prefer, but I think it's our only option. I don't like to admit it, Kakarot, but I agree with you. If we want to stop this monster, we need all the power we can get.
Both warriors assumed the necessary postures to perform the fusion dance. The energy of Goku and Vegeta intertwined in a brilliant flash, and within seconds, an entirely new warrior emerged. Gogeta in his base form, the supremely powerful fusion of the two Saiyans.
It seems the occasion requires it. Now, Takagami, get ready. So you think a ridiculous fusion will be able to stand up to my power?
Gogeta rushed towards Takagami with amazing speed. The matchup that followed was an unmatched display of skills. Gogeta dodged Takagami's attacks with grace, fighting back with overwhelming force. However, the darkness that enveloped the Dark God proved to be a formidable challenge. During the intense battle, Ten Shinhan and Chaos continued to bravely fight, but the price of a confrontation was already becoming apparent. Takagami, taking advantage of the distraction, launched a devastating attack that left Ten Shinhan and Chaos seriously injured. Goku and Vegeta, seeing their companions in danger, felt a surge of rage. Gogeta redoubled his efforts, attacking with renewed ferocity. However, Takagami, aware of the situation, diverted his attention to Ten Shinhan and Chaos.
Feeling the despair, Saiyans? Soon this world will witness its end.
Goku and Vegeta, full of rage and determination, increased their speed. They knew they needed to do something before Takagami carried out his threats. The battle reached its climax when Gogeta launched a massive attack on Takagami, seeking to break his resistance. However, the darkness surrounding Takagami intensified, revealing a surprise resistance. It was then that Ten Shinhan and Chaos, still on the ground, exchanged a determined look. They knew that whatever they had to do to give Gogeta a chance to defeat Takagami. Goku, Vegeta, you need time. I'll take care of holding this monster.
I'll come with you, Tenshinhan. Together we'll be the barrier they need.
Goku and Vegeta, although reluctant to lose their friends, went at full speed to avoid what they had in mind.
Don't do it, Tenshinhan! Chaos!
Tenshinhan and Chaos stood up, ignoring the pain coursing through their bodies. With determination, they faced Takagami, resisting his attacks with all their might. Gogeta, seeing the situation, understood the magnitude of the sacrifice they were making.
We cannot disappoint this sacrifice. We have to win this.
While Tenshinhan and Chaos bravely fought Takagami, Gogeta continued his assault with the intensity intact. The battle was taking place on two fronts, with the Earth Warriors sacrificing themselves to provide the necessary opening. Goku and Vegeta, as he approached, their hearts were filled with sorrow and gratitude towards Tenshinhan and Chaos. Gogeta, with supersonic speed, approached the scene where Tenshinhan and Chaos were bravely facing Takagami. His gaze reflected the mixture of determination and regret, knowing that the sacrifices of his teammates were the key to victory.
Hold on a little longer, guys. Let's put an end to this.
The Saiyan fusion advanced towards Takagami, who, upon seeing Gogeta's arrival, stopped attacking Tenshinhan and Chaos to confront the fused warrior. The intensity of the battle reached a new level, with attacks and counterattacks echoing across the battlefield. Tenshinhan, with his remaining strength, took advantage of that distraction to hold Takagami with all his strength, preventing him from moving freely. His face showed determination and resignation at the same time.
Chaos, this is your chance. Make every second I hold this monster worth it.
Chaos, next to Tenshinhan, nodded weakly. His body showed the ravages of the battle, but his eyes were shining with all the will to do the duty.
Tenshinhan is right, Gogeta. The light will always prevail over the darkness. Remember that.
Goku, Vegeta, take care of our world. This is our last act. At that moment, Chaos accumulated an immense amount of energy to sacrifice himself. Gogeta, who was very close, were hit by the shock wave of the explosion. Gogeta, recovering from the impact, looked at the place where his companions were with solemnly.
Your sacrifice will not be in vain. I promise.
After what happened, Gogeta raised his head and with an uncontrollable anger increased his ki in such a way that he made the battlefield rumble, making the stones that were in the place fly, making Takagami retreat only with the gusts of air that expanded from his being. In a panning from head to toe, we managed to see Gogeta's transformation in Super Saiyan Blue Phase 4, which showed the essence of Ozaru as a kind of aura in blue color, and a more controlled but much more powerful version, a transformation never seen, since they were not able to coordinate their powers to be able to reach said transformation. As Gogeta's energy transformed into a surprising and controlled version of Super Saiyan Blue Stage 4, a brilliant blue essence of Ozaru manifested around him, revealing unparalleled potency. The cosmic landscape trembled before the magnitude of this new form. Goku and Vegeta, witness of this unique transformation, were filled with amazement and determination. It was evident that Gogeta was reaching a level of power never seen before, fusing the essence of Super Saiyan Blue with Ozaru's formidable presence flawlessly. Gogeta, in his new form, turned an intense gaze towards Takagami, whose expression of confidence was overshadowed by surprise. The battle, far from having come to an end, was just beginning in this new phase. The universe was waiting for the outcome of this epic confrontation, where light and darkness collided in a cosmic dance. The promise of a new dawn loomed on the horizon, but the price of triumph was uncertain. Gogeta floated in the sky, surrounded by the imposing energy of his new form. The stars seemed to pale before the intensity of his blue radiance, as Takagami recovered from the initial impact and adopted a defensive posture.
What kind of transformation is this? This is the power of those who fight for something greater than themselves.
With a flash, Gogeta disappeared, appearing in front of Takagami in the blink of an eye. The clash of their fists created shockwaves that shook the battlefield. Gogeta's speed and strength were unmatched, surpassing even Takagami's ability to anticipate his blows. Gogeta and Takagami exchanged blows and energy blasts at breakneck speed. Each impact resounded like cosmic thunder, creating an epic symphony on planet Earth.
Your attempt to revive your so-called gods ends here, Takagami.
But you're a bug in the face of the greatness of my power.
In an instant, Gogeta unleashed a burst of concentrated energy, enveloping Takagami in a whirlwind of light and force. When the light dissipated, Takagami emerged unharmed, but with a more serious expression.
Interesting, but not enough.
The battle was reaching cosmic levels, with ripples of energy spreading across the far reaches of the universe. Meanwhile, the other Z warriors watched the sky, appreciating Gogeta's great power of display and Takagami's resilience and viciousness. The roar of battle echoed in every corner of the universe. Gogeta and Takagami, wrapped in an endless dance of energy, continued their titanic confrontation. Space twisted and trembled under the influence of their powers, creating distortions itself. Bursts of energy expanded like lightning, illuminating the darkness of the night sky with dazzling flashes. Each blow between the two contenders seemed to release an explosion of energy that spread in concentric waves, setting the frantic pace of the cosmic battle. Away from the battlefield, the others watched in anguish and admiration. Bulma, with a mixture of fear and hope in her eyes, clung to the hope that Gogeta would prevail.
Come on, Gogeta, you must win! For all of us!
Meanwhile, on the battlefield, Gogeta and Takagami continued their fierce exchange. Determination burned in Gogeta's eyes, while Takagami maintained a defiant smile, though his expression hid a growing unease.
This is for the price you pay for defying the peace of the universe.
With a swift movement, Gogeta vanished and reappeared behind Takagami, launching an energy-charged punch straight at his back. But Takagami, anticipating, quickly spun around and blocked the attack with the dark energy shield.
Haha, is that all you got?
In response, Gogeta intensified his assault, unleashing a continuous flurry of punches and kicks. Each impact resounded like thunder. But Takagami, though outmatched in speed, resisted with his dark power, countering the attacks with deft movements. During the scuttle, Takagami took advantage of the prevalent moment of openness and opened up a launched energy bolt straight for Gogeta's chest. The resulting explosion shook the universe and Gogeta was thrown backwards, leaving a trail of blue energy.
Is that all hope can do?
Gogeta recovered quickly, stood up with determination. The glow of his transformation increased even more.
This is far from over.
The battle continued, leading them again to display an ever-increasing amount of power. In this fury, Gogeta unleashed power that defied the laws of the universe, and Takagami, despite his arrogance, began to show signs of concern. The tension was palpable. The Z warriors felt the intensity of the confrontation, even when they were a long distance away from where the battle for the future of the planet was taking place. Piccolo was seriously watching, calculating every move and thinking at some point this battle, which was far from over, would be a favorable outcome. Piccolo, in his thoughts,
Goku, Vegeta, we trust you. You must win this battle.
The battle reached a new climax when Gogeta and Takagami met at an eminent point in the battle. The energy emanated from them, illuminating the vastness of the dark sky, creating a dazzling spectacle of colors and flashes.
You cannot escape darkness. Darkness will never prevail over light. You're a fool if you think your light can eclipse my power.
Suddenly, a voice echoed in Gogeta's mind, a familiar but distant voice.
Gogeta, do not underestimate your enemy. Truth lies within strength.
The transmission abruptly cut off, leaving Gogeta bewildered. Before he could reflect on it, however, Takagami lunged towards him with surprising speed, unleashing a series of punches and kicks that left Gogeta struggling to keep up. At that moment, a fleeting image flashed through Gogeta's mind, a vision of his loved ones, of his purpose, and the responsibility he carried on his shoulders. The energy of the transformation fanned, and Gogeta, with newfound determination, struck back with renewed ferocity.
This is the limit of your tyranny, Takagami. The limit's up to you, Gogeta, and your limit is my power.
Suddenly, the sky around him fragmented, and multiple distorted versions of Takagami emerged from the dimensional rifts, each with a malevolent grin.
You cannot defeat me, Gogeta. I am eternal. I'm a god. You may be powerful, but I'm not alone in this.
The battle reached a new intensity as multiple distorted incarnations of Takagami surrounded Gogeta. Each emanated a dark energy that defied the laws of the universe. The air itself seemed to vibrate with the pressure of their combined presences.
At that precise moment, Goku and Vegeta's fusion had come to an end due to the amount of power they had used in order to stand up to Takagami. Goku and Vegeta, although they had returned to their individual forms after the fusion, knew that the key by defeating Takagami lay in perfect unity and coordination. Vegeta, we're in this together. Let's give all our power to be able to confront him so we can free Yamcha from this so-called god.
Yes, Kakarot, this insect will not defeat us.
The Z Warriors watched in amazement, aware that the fate of the universe hung in the balance. Piccolo analyzed the situation, looking for any weaknesses that could be exploited. The others prepared to act if the opportunity presented itself. Goku and Vegeta, now separated, their fusion as Gogeta, faced Takagami with determination in their eyes. The dark presence of the supposed god loomed over them, but the Saiyans were determined to free Yamcha and put an end to the threat he posed. Vegeta, we need to coordinate our attacks. We've always been stronger when we fight together.
For once, I agree with you, Kakarot. This insect will pay for what he did.
The two Saiyans lunged towards Takagami, attacking with a combination of punches and ki blasts. Takagami, though powerful, was momentarily overwhelmed by the timing of the two warriors. However, his sinister laugh echoed across the battlefield.
Your union will change nothing. My power is unlimited.
Goku and Vegeta exchanged glances, realizing that the situation was more serious than they had imagined. Takagami unleashed a wave of dark energy that sent them flying, but they quickly recovered, ready to continue the fight. The Z Warriors watched with concern. Gohan, though a bit intimidated by Takagami's power, maintained his unwavering determination. Piccolo, with his keen intelligence, pointed out a possible weakness.
It seems his power is linked to some source. We must find a way to break that connection.
Goten and Trunks, who had arrived along with Gohan, eager to join the battle, looked at their parents with concern. However, Piccolo stopped them.
Guys, we need a plan before we launch into battle. Your strength will be crucial at the right time.
While the Z Warriors thought of a plan, Goku and Vegeta continued their fierce assault against Takagami. Every time it seemed they were about to defeat him, his power increased and the evil emanating from him intensified.
Ha 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 ha! Your resistance is useless. My power thrives on despair and suffering.
Then we must find a way to change that. Vegeta, we need to attack together, but with a strategy.
You're finally thinking clearly, Kakarot. Let's do it!
The two Saiyans, coordinating their movements, executed a series of synchronized attacks. Although Takagami was defending himself skillfully, he began to show signs of discomfort. The connection between his power and the external source seemed to be faltering. At that instant, Piccolo noticed the opportunity.
Now is the time. Gohan, wait for the opening we'll give you so you can attack. Goten, Trunks, follow me on my signal.
Gohan nodded, conveying a look of confidence to his friends. Goten and Trunks prepared to act on Piccolo's directions.
Everyone, let's send our energies to Goku and Vegeta. We must strengthen their connection and weaken Takagami's source of power.
The Z Warriors gathered their energies and, with a coordinated effort, sent a stream of ki skyward. Goku and Vegeta, sensing the surge of power, seized the opportunity. They're doing it! Come on, Vegeta! The connection between Goku, Vegeta, and the Z Warriors created a unique synergy. Energy flowed through them, strengthening their resolve and weakening Takagami's external source of power.
This can't be happening!
The darkness surrounding Takagami began to dissipate, due to the large amount of energy they were receiving from their friends. Piccolo, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks, observing the battle, noticed the opportunity to intervene.
Now, guys, let's go!
Goten and Trunks took flight into the sky where Goku and Vegeta were, joining the fight against Takagami. With the energy of the Z Warriors strengthening the connection between Goku and Vegeta, the real battle was about to begin. The fusion of powers of the Saiyans between father and son created an explosion of energy that enveloped Takagami. The fight intensified, but now, with hope and determination as their allies, Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks were ready to face the Dark God and free the universe from his evil domain. The burst of energy that enveloped Takagami reverberated throughout the universe. The fusion of the powers of Goku, Vegeta, and his sons created a symphony of forces, illuminating the sky with a brilliant radiance that defied the darkness Takagami had tried to impose. Takagami, enveloped in the luminescence of the combined energy, struggled to maintain his composure. The connection between his power and the source of his power, Yamcha, was weakening with every second, and his sinister laugh began to turn into growls of frustration.
We're making progress, Vegeta!
Yes, but let's not let our guard down. It's not over.
As the Saiyans continued their coordinated offensive, Goten and Trunks and their Super Saiyan forms joined the battle. The pressure on Takagami intensified, as he now faced not only the two adult Saiyans, but also that of his sons. The coordination between them was impressive, and every move was backed by the combined strength of the Z Warriors.
Dad! Vegeta! We're here to help! Let's show this guy that the Saiyan family is unstoppable!
The trio of Saiyans, with their different levels of expertise and abilities, formed a united front against Takagami. The battle was getting more and more intense, with bursts of energy and flurries of attacks lighting up space like a celestial spectacle. Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, and the others channeled their energies to strengthen the connection between the Saiyans and, at the same time, searched for weaknesses in Takagami's defense.
We must keep the pressure on and look for any opportunity to unbalance Takagami.
Dad! Vegeta! Goten! Trunks! We all trust you! Let's defeat this enemy together!
In space, the synergy between the Saiyans reached its peak. Goku and Vegeta, with the energy of their sons and the Z Warriors, fused their attacks in an amazing display of power. Takagami, despite his resistance, began to give ground.
This is not possible! I'm a god! I cannot be defeated!
The connection between his power and the external source was on the verge of collapse. The Saiyans, sensing Takagami's weakness, redoubled their efforts. Goten, Trunks, guided by Piccolo's strategy, attacked from unexpected angles, while Goku and Vegeta continued their frontal assault. Piccolo noticed a key opportunity.
Now, Gohan, it's your time!
Gohan, in his final form ready to take advantage of the opportunity, concentrated his energy and launched himself into the confrontation. With surprising speed, he joined the fight alongside Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks.
Let's finish this, Dad!
The symphony of energy between the Z Warriors and the Saiyans reached its climax. Takagami, beset on all sides, struggled to stand, and the skies erupted in an explosion of light and darkness as the heroes joined forces to confront the Dark God. The battle reached its climax, and every move decided the fate of the universe. The Z Warriors from Earth watched with eagerness and hope, knowing that victory was within reach, but also aware that the final fight was yet to come. With the Saiyans and the Z Warriors facing Takagami in a cosmic confrontation. However, amidst the chaos of battle, a small distraction allowed Takagami to strike back with furiosity. Goten and Trunks, focused on following Piccolo's strategy, attacked from different angles. However, in a moment of minimal distraction, Takagami seized the opportunity and launched a surprise counterattack. With quick and precise movements, the Dark God managed to evade Goten and Trunks' attacks, countering them with punches and energy blasts.
Ha ha ha! Your efforts are useless, children! I'm the all-consuming darkness!
Goten and Trunks, though agile and powerful, found themselves in a precarious situation. Takagami, with his speed and cunning, left the young Saiyans struggling to keep up.
We have to protect them!
Takagami's concentration of power is increasing. We need to regroup and find a strategy to counter his moves.
Meanwhile, in the sky, Goten and Trunks, despite the setbacks, continued to fight bravely. They tried to coordinate their attacks, but Takagami's speed and cunning proved to be a formidable challenge.
Trunks, we have to stay focused! I know, but this guy's stronger than I imagined!
In an unexpected twist, Takagami launched a blast of dark energy that hit Goten and Trunks, leaving them badly injured. Both Saiyans fell backwards with obvious signs of exhaustion and pain.
Goten! Trunks!
This damned Dark God!
The adult Saiyans intensified their assault, determined to avenge their momentary fall of their sons. Takagami, however, taking advantage of the confusion and despair that gripped the Z Warriors, rejoiced in his newly strengthened power.
This is how the heroes of the universe give up. They may fight, but in the end, darkness will always prevail.
The result was becoming even more tense. The Z Warriors, though determined, were facing the reality that their fight was far from over. Goten and Trunks, wounded but not defeated, were struggling to recover and rejoin the battle.
We need a new approach. Takagami's strength increases with each passing moment.
We'll protect Goten and Trunks. We'll not let the darkness prevail.
The battle, now more critical than ever, was plunging into a desperate confrontation where the survival of the universe hung in the balance. Gohan, observing the critical situation of his brother Goten and Trunks, could not contain the fury that burned within him. A flash of anger crossed his eyes, and his energy rose to levels that would leave even the most experienced Saiyans dumbfounded. He lunged towards Takagami with shocking speed, ignoring any concern for his own safety. "With this price, you'll pay for hurting my family!" His speed and furiosity impressed everyone on the battlefield. Every blow he delivered carried with it a pent-up rage of a protective brother. Takagami, though initially surprised, adapted to the intensity of Gohan's attacks.
Do you think your anger can stop me?
"I'm going to protect my family and the entire universe from your darkness!" The battle between Gohan and Takagami unleashed an energy storm in space. Goku and Vegeta watched in awe and fear as the conflict reached levels that defied comprehension. Despite their determination, they realized they were facing a power beyond anything they had faced before. "This kid, his power is amazing!"
We can't let Gohan fight alone. We must support him.
As Gohan continued his relentless assault, Takagami showed a significant improvement in his defensive ability. Every blow was met with inhuman prowess. The battle reached a point where the universe itself seemed to be on the verge of collapse. The epic confrontation between Gohan and Takagami pushed the Saiyan warrior to the limit of his abilities. Despite Gohan's bravery and skill, the Dark God, with unmatched cunning and speed, found an opening in his defense. With a graceful twist, Takagami unleashed a ripping attack, a blast of dark energy that sliced through the air with a malevolent precision. Gohan, surprised by the speed and ferocity of the attack, barely had time to react. The energy wave hit Gohan full on, enveloping him in an explosion of light and darkness. The force of the impact threw Goku's eldest son backwards, causing him to stagger, desperately struggling to stay on his feet. The dark energy left its mark on Gohan's body, marking him with deep, tearing wounds. "Gah! This can't be so strong!" Takagami, with a sinister smile, hovered in the air, observing the result of his devastating attack. The black energy around him seemed to vibrate with satisfaction as Gohan tried to recover.
This is the power you praise so much. You're no match for me, Gohan.
Goku and Vegeta, witnessing the scene from a distance, gritted their teeth helplessly. The situation was becoming more critical with each passing moment. Goten and Trunks, still injured but recovering, were prepared to rejoin the fight.
Gohan! This damned! We can't let this continue!
Goten and Trunks, sensing the urgency of the situation, approached Gohan to help him. Despite his own injuries, determination shone in his eyes. "Brother, are you alright?" "Yes, but we need a new approach. We're not going to let this guy get away with this." Meanwhile, Piccolo and the other Z warriors were also assessing the situation, looking for any opportunity to change the course of the battle. The pressure on them was mounting, and the need to find an effective strategy was becoming more apparent.
We have to work together. Gohan, can you keep fighting?
Gohan nodded, ignoring the pain coursing through his body. His determination had not dulled, on the contrary. Takagami's imminent threat stoked it. "I can't give up, but we need a strategy, something that could surprise him."
Surprise him, you say?
As the Z warriors immersed themselves in strategy to counter Takagami, a small distraction took over the battlefield. Goten and Trunks, aware of the need of a different approach, exchanged determined glances. Without saying a word, they assumed the familiar fusion dance stance. The other warriors, immersed in their tactics, barely noticed the sudden disappearance of Goten and Trunks as they performed the fusion. The energy around them condensed into a brilliant flash that revealed Gotenks, Super Saiyan, the powerful fusion of the two young Saiyans. "Ready to give this guy a surprise!" With impressive speed, Gotenks launched himself towards Takagami, who was momentarily startled by the new presence on the battlefield. Gotenks, with his characteristic air of self-sufficiency, began to unleash a series of swift and agile attacks, challenging the Dark God with renewed energy. "Here I come!" Takagami, however, far from being intimidated, smiled sinisterly. With a casual gesture, he deflected Gotenks' attacks as if toying with him.
Is that all you've got, you little fused insect?
Gotenks persisted, intensifying his attacks, trying to find an opening in Takagami's defense. However, the Dark God with a graceful move countered each blow with ease. Come on! It can't be! In the moment of distraction, Takagami took advantage of the situation. With impressive speed, he launched a blast of dark energy that enveloped Gotenks before he could react. The resulting explosion threw Gotenks backwards, knocking him to the ground unconscious and disfigured. Gotenks!
This is worse than we thought.
Takagami, now more confident of his superiority, hovered in the air glaring at the defeated warriors. Goten and Trunks, still unconscious, lay on the ground as Takagami revealed in his moment of victory.
Ha 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 ha! Is this all you offer, Z warriors? Your desperation only increases my power.
With the outlook darkened by Gotenks' momentary defeat, attention turned to Gohan, who, badly wounded but driven by an inner strength, began to radiate intense energy. The pain in his body seemed to fuel his determination, and a wild golden glow enveloped as his ki reached never-before-seen levels. In the blink of an eye, Gohan transformed into Super Saiyan Phase 3, a form of awesome power that surprised even Takagami. Gohan's hair grew out of control, his muscles swelled, and his expression reflected a mixture of pain and fierce determination.
What is this? A new trick?
Gohan, with a wild roar, launched himself towards Takagami with shocking speed. The force of his blows and the intensity of his attacks shook the battlefield, creating a storm of energy around him. The conflict between light and darkness took on a new dimension as Gohan challenged the limits of his own power.
You're going to pay for what you've done!
The confrontation between Gohan in his Super Saiyan Phase 3 form and Takagami marked a drastic change in the intensity of the battle. The skies, previously serene, witness of the confrontation, darkened with the energy unleashed by both combatants. And each blow resounded like thunder in the vast and silent cosmic space, defying the tranquility of the stars watching from a distance. The explosions of energy briefly illuminated the darkness, creating a chaotic and majestic spectacle at the same time. The flashes of light and shadow intertwined in a frantic dance that reflected the ferocity of the combat. The shockwaves spread out in the distance, distorting space itself and recalling the magnitude of the power unleashed on that battlefield. Each movement was a ballet of strength and dexterity, with Gohan and Takagami challenging each other in a battle that transcended the physical, entering the realms of the mystical and the epic. Their cries of determination were lost amid the din of battle, but their spirits echoed in every exchange of blows, making it clear that this confrontation was not just for dominance or survival, but for the legacy of their lineages and the protection of their worlds. Gohan, his eyes shining with an indomitable determination, channeled all his power in every movement, leaving a trail of energy that shimmered with a force that defied the limits of the unimaginable. His taut muscles, his golden aura glowing with intensity, made him an unstoppable force that sought justice and protection for all those he loved and defended. You will not escape my justice, Takagami! My determination's like an unbreakable torrent that'll sweep away any darkness you try to sow. Every blow I throw carries with it the strength of all those I protect and defend. I'll not rest until the truth shines on every shadow you've woven with your deceptions. Get ready to face the justice I bring. Gohan roared with fiery fury, his voice echoing across the battlefield like an echo of the very protective will drive him. Every blow he threw carried with it the emotional burden of years of struggle and sacrifice, the determination of a hero willing to do anything for the well-being of his world and his loved ones. On the other hand, Takagami, with his characteristic agility and calculated cunning, dodged Gohan's attacks with fluid and precise movements. His cold and calculating gaze contrasted with the ferocity of the Saiyan, unveiling an enemy who did not underestimate the threat he faced.
Interesting. I see that the power of the Saiyan pride still burns deep in your being, Gohan, but let me tell you this. However intense it may be, will not be enough to defy the chains of your inevitable fate.
Between each exchange of blows and dodges, the battlefield turned into an epic scenario where two titans collided, not only with their bodies but with their convictions and purposes. The fate of both was intertwined in a deadly dance where determination, skill, and strength merged in a conflict that transcended the physical and went deep into their warriors' souls. The clash of energies was so intense that the Z warriors felt the pressure and overwhelming weight of the unfolding confrontation. The magnitude of the conflict resonated in every corner of the known universe, like an echo of power that transcended planetary barriers and penetrated the very heart of those who were fighting for survival and justice. The fluctuations in ki were palpable, even to those watching from a distance, like a symphony of opposing forces colliding in a chaotic but harmonious dance. Every member of the Z Warriors could feel the electricity in the air, the tension that preceded every strategic move and every heartbreaking blow. The earth trembled under the influence of the unleashed energy, as if the world itself was responding to the duel of titans being waged on its surface. The skies darkened even more, as if the universe itself was holding its breath at the magnificence and terror of that epic contest. In those moments of crisis, the Z Warriors' determination grew even stronger, fueled by the urgency to protect what they loved and to face any adversity with courage and conviction. It was a reminder that during chaos and destruction, the human spirit could shine with an unshakable light. Piccolo, with his strategic mind sharper as a razor, watched every move with meticulous attention. Every gesture, every spark of unleashed energy carried with it the promise of a decisive change during the battle. His intense and serene gaze concealed a precise calculation as he searched for the perfect opportunity to intervene in support of his disciple. Piccolo, with his gaze lost on the horizon as he pondered the situation deeply, added in a calm but determined voice,
Gohan is channeling an incredible power right now. If we manage to amplify their energy and coordinate a joint attack, we could tip the scales in our favor and find the opportunity we need to change the course of this battle.
His mind worked like a meticulous clock, evaluating possibilities and strategies during the chaos that was unleashed in front of him. Meanwhile, at the epicenter of the conflict, Gohan and Takagami continued their titanic duel, each determined to impose their will and determination on the other. Gohan's transformation into Super Saiyan Stage 3 not only gave him enormous strength, but also imposed a demanding tribute in terms of energy and physical endurance. Gohan, his breathing agitated by the effort and intensity of the moment, expressed with determination in his voice between short breaths, "His power! It's overwhelming! But I must stand firm! I can't fail!" Every word resonated with an unwavering commitment as he prepared to face the ordeal ahead of her, his aura glowing with a mixture of exhaustion and relentless resolve. His spirit stood like a burning flame during the storm, braving adversities with a determination that sprang from the core of his being. On the other hand, Takagami, with his arrogant smile and calculated movements, responded to every attack of Gohan with an inordinate confidence in his own dexterity and power. Takagami, with a voice imbued with superiority and a tone that denoted his absolute confidence in his words, defiantly replied,
Admiral, but naive. Your determination's remarkable, Gohan, but you must understand that no force in this universe can change your destiny.
His voice resonated with an assurance that seemed to defy all opposition, marking a gap between confidence in his power and Gohan's will. His self-assurance was impenetrable as the toughest steel, a psychological barrier that defied even the storms of energy roaring around him. The confrontation was coming to a head as the Z Warriors, with a mixture of worry and palpable hope in their hearts, prepared to intervene at the precise moment that could change the course of the battle. Vegeta, with his intense and analytical gaze, watched every flash of power unleashed by Gohan with a mixture of admiration and concern in his eyes. Vegeta, with his analytical and sharp mind, was muttering to himself in a barely audible tone due to the palpable tension in the air.
Gohan's unleashing an incredible power.
His words were a whisper, charged with respect and concern, acknowledging the magnitude of the power that Gohan was unleashing at that critical moment.
But he must maintain control if he wants to survive this,
he added with a seriousness that reflected his experience in past battles and his understanding of the dangers of losing control over so much unleashed energy. Goku, the legendary warrior who knows the limits and beyond, nodded solemnly at Vegeta's words.
Goku, with a calmness that radiated experience and wisdom, recognized with respect in his voice, "We know what it's like to fight at the limit, but Gohan's showing exceptional courage that inspires us all." His words resonated with the depth of one who has faced countless challenges, understanding the nature of struggle and the sacrifice it entails. With admiration palpable in his tone, recognizing the courage and determination of his son during adversity, his voice, serene but full of respect, reflected the confidence in Gohan's potential to overcome any obstacle. Meanwhile, the energy flowing through Gohan was reaching its peak, manifesting itself in an impressive visual spectacle. Its golden aura radiated an intense light that illuminated the surrounding space, making even the distant stars seem to pale in comparison. Gohan, with a roar full of determination that echoed throughout the battlefield, exclaimed with fervor, addressed to his father and Vegeta, "Father! Vegeta! All of you! This power is to protect you all!" His voice carried with an emotional charge of his commitment to the protection of his loved ones, a promise that manifested itself in every flash of his glowing aura, and in every blow aimed at the darkness that threatened his world. His voice, echoing like an echo of hope amid the chaos of battle, his energy, instead of just being destructive, became a beacon of hope for his allies, instilling strength and determination in their hearts. The buildup of energy finally reached its peak when Gohan unleashed a combined attack so powerful that it seemed to tear the very fabric of space. The surprise on Takagami's face was palpable, reflecting the magnitude of the force unleashed by the young Saiyan. "Impossible! I can't believe the magnitude of your strength, Gohan! You've unweakened a power that defies all my expectations and strategies so far. But you haven't witnessed everything I can do yet. My abilities are not limited to what you've witnessed so far, and I still have cards to play in this game. Get ready to find out that I'm not as easy an opponent to defeat. The true essence of my power is about to be revealed, and I assure you that it'll surprise you. The battle's only just begun, young Saiyan." The resulting explosion temporarily blinded everyone present, enveloping the battlefield in a dazzling light that eclipsed even the brightest stars in the firmament. As the luminescence slowly faded away, it revealed an impressive but also disturbing scene. Gohan, still in his Super Saiyan Stage 3 form, was still standing, his figure slender but visibly exhausted at the limit of his strength. Was that enough?" He was panting between short breaths, his eyes reflecting a determination that defied the fatigue that overwhelmed him. But Takagami emerged from the rubble with a defiant smile on his face, was making it clear that the battle was far from over. "You're barely scratching the surface, Gohan. Your power is awesome, but you can't beat the darkness that is hanging over you. Your determination's commendable, but the real battle is beyond what you can imagine. My shadows are deeper, and my power is vaster than you think. Get ready to face the true essence of the dark power." Gohan's energy was fluctuating, a clear sign that his transformation was reaching its limit. The Z warriors watched with anxiety and determination as the battle reached a critical point. Victory seemed elusive, but their fighting spirit remained unwavering in the darkness that threatened to devour them all. "No! I can't give up this power! It's to protect everyone! To my family! To the Earth!" Each word came out between agitated breaths, but charged with an unwavering determination, revealing the deep sense of responsibility and love that drove their struggle. His voice, though weakened by the effort, resounded with a firmness that defined the adversities he faced. "Oh, what a pathetic nobility! Do you think you can fight my darkness with simple desires for protection? Your strength is impressive, but your naivety condemns you. Don't you understand that in this world, nobility and desires for protection are as fragile as glass in front of the tide? No matter how much power you possess, the darkness will always find a crack through which to infiltrate and corrupt everything you value. It's only a matter of time before you realize the futility of your efforts, Gohan." Gohan, his aura flickering, braced himself for another assault, feeling every fiber of his being burning with determination. However, the accumulated fatigue and the marked wounds on his skin were beginning to take their toll. weighing like chains on his struggle. Every move was a battle against exhaustion and pain, a test of endurance that tested his courage and perseverance. The vision of Takagami, his implacable enemy, distorted slightly before his fatigued eyes, reflecting not only the tumult of the physical battle, but also the dark and twisted connection Takagami maintained with the source of power that fed him. This connection, like a cursed bond, gave Takagami a ruthless strength, but also dragged him into the maelstrom of corruption and out of control. During the fray, Gohan found himself facing not only a formidable opponent, but also the shadow of an evil influence that threatened to consume everything. Every blow thrown and blocked resonated with the intensity of an epic battle between light and darkness, between the determination of a hero and the seduction of a dark and forbidden power. Despite the adversities and uncertainty that surrounded him, Gohan clung to hope like the beacon in a storm, remembering the bonds of friendship and love that drove him to move forward. Every beat of his heart resonated with the will to protect what he valued most in the world, facing the challenge with courage and sacrifice, knowing that true strength lay in his indomitable spirit and in his determination to never give up in the face of the darkness that threatened his world and soul.
Gohan, don't wear yourself out too much. Stay focused and in control. Remember, that true strength lies not only in raw power, but in the ability to stay calm and think strategically amid chaos. Do not underestimate your opponent, and do not get carried away by blind rage. That determination must be backed by intelligence and control. Make every hit count, and don't get distracted from your goal.
His words, full of advice and warnings, sought to remind Gohan of the importance of the mind in battle, in addition to physical strength.
The Super Saiyan Phase 3 form consumes a lot of energy. Gohan needs to find a balance between his power and his stamina. He must learn to control the flow of his ki to maintain his strength without exhausting himself quickly. The key is efficiency. Every movement must be precisely calculated and executed to maximize the impact without wasting energy. It's a challenge to master this state, but if Gohan manages to find that harmony, his potential will be truly formidable.
His words, full of experience and knowledge, sought to guide Gohan towards a better understanding of how to use his power without compromising his endurance in battle. As Gohan and Takagami continued their confrontation, Goku's eyes, a symbol of hope for everyone, shone with determination during the intense strife. His strategic mind was working at full speed, analyzing every move of his son and enemies to find the perfect crack in Takagami's defense. Every glimmer in his gaze reflects years of training, epic battles, and an unwavering desire to protect those he loved. In the distance, Vegeta stood in a fighting position, his Saiyan pride burning like an unstoppable flame. His defiant aura and combat experience combined into a formidable force, ready to unleash his power at the precise moment. Piccolo, with his calculated serenity, was watching the battle with sharp eyes, ready to strategically intervene and balance the scales in favor of his comrades. Meanwhile, Goten and Trunks, the young warriors, were in the middle of the recovery process after the intense confrontation against Takagami. Despite their damage received, his determination did not waver. Both focused on channeling their ki with precision, taking advantage of every breath to restore their energies and strengthen their bodies. Goten, with his indomitable spirit and his face marked with determination, closed his eyes with concentration as he felt the flow of vital energy revitalize his fatigued muscles. "We have to be ready to return to the battle at any moment," he thought to himself, remembering the responsibility he shared with his friend Trunks to protect his family and his home. On the other hand, Trunks, with his mind focused and his ki shining with renewed intensity, was striving to reach an optimal state of recovery. "We can't afford to let our guard down," he reflected, aware of the challenges they still faced and the need to be prepared to face any adversity that stood in their way. Both young warriors knew that the battle was not over yet. With determination in their hearts and their ki channeling with precision, they were preparing for the next chapter in their fight for the protection of their world. "Gohan's giving his best. His strength and determination are impressive, but we need to find an opening to channel more energy towards him and empower his power to the fullest. We must all join forces and find a way to support him in this crucial battle. Our connection as a family and as a team is our greatest strength.
Let's make every hit and every effort count to protect our home and those we love. His words, full of determination and hope, reflected his confidence in the team's ability to overcome any challenge when working together.
Your resistance is admirable, but useless. My power is absolute. No matter how much they fight, they won't be able to stop me. My strength is unshakable, and my determination relentless. There is no escape from my dominion. It's time for you to give up and accept your fate under my control.
Every word was loaded with arrogance and certainty as Takagami continued to unleash his dark power with ruthless ferocity. Gohan, with a superhuman effort, managed to deflect Takagami's attacks and counterattacked with a burst of brilliant energy. The collision of powers created a shockwave that shook the nearby atmosphere.
I will not allow you to destroy what I love! My bonds and my strength are greater than any darkness you could throw! I'm ready to face any challenge and overcome any obstacle to ensure a secure future for everyone! There will be no place for destruction in my world!
Your emotions make you weak, Gohan. The real strength lies in the darkness. Your love and your bonds are chains that prevent you from reaching your true potential. Don't you see that the darkness offers unlimited and unrestricted power? Abandon your illusions of grandeur, young Saiyan. Face the truth that only darkness can bring you true strength and absolute dominion over the world.
Every word was imbued with an icy arrogance and a fanatical belief in the corrupting power of darkness. Takagami sought to sow doubts and weakness in Gohan's mind, challenging his conception of strength and courage. The struggle became more intense with each pressing moment. Gohan, despite showing obvious exhaustion with every short breath, remained firm and undetermined, refusing to back down from the challenge Takagami posed. His eyes reflected an unwavering determination as he faced the malevolent machinations of his enemy. However, Takagami's evil cunning was revealed in all its magnitude when he began to manipulate the environment around him with dark mastery. The dark creatures had summoned with his sinister magic were already at the edge of the surface, ready to emerge and join the battle with uncontrollable ferocity. The air was charged with an ominous presence as the shadows of those creatures danced unexpectedly, eager to join the conflict and show their destructive power. Faced with the imminent threat, the Z warriors did not hesitate to prepare to face these creatures that represented an unknown but tangible danger. Vegeta, with his characteristic defiant tone, exclaimed as he adjusted his combat posture, "I'll not allow those abominations to ruin our path to victory. It's time to show them the true power of a Saiyan." Piccolo, the group's calm strategist, quickly assessed the situation and proposed a plan of action. "We're facing a cunning enemy who uses manipulation as a weapon. We must act with coordination and precision. Gohan, you now take care of containing the creatures. Vegeta, Goku, keep the pressure on Takagami and don't let him breathe easy." Goku, with a determined smile on his face, nodded energetically.
We have it, Piccolo! I'm confident that together we can overcome any challenge that comes our way! We're going to give our best!
Goten and Trunks, the young warriors, who were always looking to prove their bravery, exchanged a look of complacency before joining the plan.
Yes! Let's show these monsters what it means to be a real team!
Determination shone in the eyes of each Z warrior as they prepared for the upcoming showdown, their hearts resonating with the memory of Ten Shinhan and Chaos's courageous sacrifice. Those moments of heroism and camaraderie resonated like an echo in their souls, reminding them of the price they sometimes had to pay to protect the world they loved. Goku, with a silent bow to his fallen friends, took a moment to remember his valuable lessons of courage and determination.
Our friend showed us that even in the darkest moments, we can find the strength to face any challenge. His sacrifice will not be in vain as long as we keep fighting and keep the flame of hope alive in our hearts. Every blow we take, every obstacle we face is proof of our determination and our commitment to a better future. We'll not let his sacrifice be forgotten. Let's keep fighting with all our heart and spirit."
Vegeta, with an intense gaze fixed on the horizon, added solemnly,
"Every battle teaches us something new. We must honor his memory by overcoming our limits, protecting this world, not only for ourselves, but for those who are no longer there."
Piccolo, the serene strategist, reflected on the importance of learning from each experience.
"Every battle, every loss,
strengthens us, and teaches us to be better warriors. Let's move forward with determination and wisdom.
Goten and Trunks, the young warriors, full of energy and competitive spirit, exchanged a look of respect towards the heroes of the past.
We're going to make their bravery and sacrifice worthwhile. We'll fight with everything we have.
The memory of Tenshinhan and Chaos became a flame that fanned the determination and fighting spirit of the Z warriors. With their hearts united in a common purpose, they prepared to face the next challenge with the strength of those who came before them, ready to write the next chapter in the history of defending the Earth against the forces of evil. The battle reached unprecedented levels of intensity, with every move unleashing a wave of energy that shook the battlefield. Gohan, with his indomitable spirit, led the charge against the emerging shadows, channeling his ki into powerful explosions that dispelled the creatures one after another. Every flash of light harbored the determination to protect their loved ones and their home from the darkness that threatened to consume them.
Mr. Piccolo, behind you! Watch your back! The enemy's trying to surprise us with sneak attacks! We can't afford to let our guard down for 1 second in this battle! Our togetherness is our greatest strength, and together, we'll overcome any challenge that comes our way! I trust in your strategic wisdom, Mr. Piccolo, but I'm also here to support you in every move! Let's move forward with determination and protect what we value with all our might!
Piccolo responded quickly, deflecting the attack with an energy shield.
Thank you, Gohan. Your quick alertness and attention to detail are crucial in this battle. Our coordination and communication are what will keep us one step ahead in the face of our enemies. Let's keep working together. Every move counts in this matchup.
By his side, Piccolo displayed his tactical ingenuity with mastery, drawing lines of defense and counterattack with pinpoint accuracy. His strategies were like chess moves on the battlefield, anticipating the enemy's moves and coordinating attacks to maximize the impact. Between them, an almost perfect synchronicity is woven, where Gohan's brute force found balance at Piccolo's strategic cunning.
Vegeta, get ready for our combined attack! We can't hold any back anymore! It's time to deploy all our power and show them what we're capable of! Together, we're unstoppable, Vegeta! Let's prove once again why we're the most powerful Z warriors in the universe! Let's go!
You don't need to tell me, Kakaroto. I'm always ready for the combat. Our combined power will overcome any obstacle that stands in our way. Get ready to witness the true strength of the Saiyan race. Let's go!
Every clash of powers, every rumble of explosions resounded like a chant of resistance, bravery during chaos. The bounds of camaraderie and trust between the Z warriors were strengthened by adversity, reminding them that together they were more than the sum of their individual abilities. In this ballet of strength and strategy, where each movement had the weight of survival and the hope of a future in which light would prevail over shadows. Vegeta and Goku, in their eternal friendly rivalry forged in countless battles, coordinated their attacks with an almost telepathic synchronization. Like two warriors who share a unique and deep bond, their fiery determination was reflected in every move, every punch, and every burst of energy they threw at their formidable opponent, Takagami.
Goku, it's time to unite our powers to take down this guy once and for all. We'll not allow it to continue sowing chaos and destruction. Our combined strength will be their undoing. Take this, Takagami! This is the end that awaits you for challenging the Z Warriors.
I'm with you, Vegeta. There's no turning back now. Together, we'll put an end to this threat once and for all. Let's get him!
The latter, a formidable adversary in his own right, was forced to quickly divert his attention between dodging the quick and precise strikes of the Saiyans and dealing with the strategic cunning of Gohan and the tactical prowess of Piccolo.
Don't underestimate my powers, Saiyans. My abilities go beyond what you can imagine. Your determination's admirable, but it won't be enough to stop me. Get ready to know the true darkness that resides in this universe.
The frantic dance of attacks and defenses between the protagonists became a ballet of opposing forces, where speed and power merged into an unparalleled combat choreography. Each shock of energy unleashed explosions of ki that lit up the sky like shooting stars on a stormy night.
painting the firmament with flashes of power and determination. The battlefield was transformed into an epic scenario where the fates of the combatants were intertwined in a cosmic drama of legendary proportions.
Gohan, now's your time to shine. Use this opportunity to show your true power and determination. We're all counting on you to turn the tide of this battle. Don't hold back. Give your best and make every hit count. The fate of everyone depends on your courage and strength in this crucial moment.
Come on, Dad! Mr. Piccolo! We won't stop until we beat you! Our determination's stronger than ever, and together, we're unstoppable! This is our moment to show that together, we can overcome any obstacle! Let's trust in our bonds, and fight with everything we have!
Meanwhile, Gohan's relentless determination and Piccolo's tactical wisdom added layers of complexity to the conflict, consistently challenging Takagami's strategies and moves. The intensity of the confrontation reached its peak, and with each hero and villain deploying their maximum potential in search of victory. Amid the chaos of battle, friendship and honor and inner strength shone as beacons of hope, in a universe fraught with unfathomable challenges and dangers. Goten and Trunks, following the meticulous plan laid out by Piccolo to the latter, demonstrated a perfect synchronization that bordered on the supernatural. As young Saiyan warriors, their connection was more than a simple strategic alliance. It was the manifestation of a deep and lasting friendship, forged in countless shared trainings and battles. Every movement, every gesture, flowed between them in an innate harmony that only the strongest bonds could sustain.
Goten, your task is to maintain the defensive perimeter. Don't let anything surprise us from behind. Trunks, look for any opportunity to counterattack. We need to take advantage of every gap in their defense to turn the tide in this battle.
Understood, Mr. Piccolo. I'll be attentive and make sure that nothing takes us by surprise.
Following Piccolo's instructions, Goten unleashed bursts of energy with the dexterity and speed typical of the Saiyan lineage.
Come on, Trunks, let's keep the pressure on. Let's not give up and take every opportunity to move forward.
His attacks were precise and forceful, outlining a defensive perimeter around the group with an intensity that left his opponents breathless. Meanwhile, Trunks, a skilled wielder of the energy sword, executed precise and elegant cuts that perfectly complemented Goten's strategic defense.
Don't let any of them through, Goten. Keep our front safe while we look for weaknesses in their formation. Let's keep pushing.
Each movement drew lines of glowing energy in the air, creating a dynamic and effective wall of protection that neutralized any threat that dared to get too close to their companions.
Well, guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now, don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment, and subscribe. Now, without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.
Good.